What's up, everybody? Good to see everybody. It's been a while. Got my eye on the ball game right now. I got some fantasy football implications in play tonight. But hope everybody's doing well. Good to see everybody. Hope this is coming in okay. I got the little the signal bar up here in the corner, which is always a great way to start stream here on a Monday night. You know, you go back to work on a Monday. You get through the day, and you're like, all right, well, I'm gonna do a stream tonight. And the first thing you want to see up in the corner is a signal bar. So I hope I'm coming through okay. Hope you guys can hear me okay. Um, so since then, I got a little echo in my voice. I don't know why I have an echo, but we'll see if it clears up. I don't know why. Let me try something here real quick. What a hot start. Good to see everybody. Let me see if that'll help clear things up a little bit. But hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. I don't think I've done a stream since before Thanksgiving. Because I did the stream right before Thanksgiving and went to see Claudio Simonetti's Goblin that following Saturday. So that was cool. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Got a couple other things to talk about. You know, what's coming up, what the future holds for the channel. Just kind of ask me anything. It's gonna be kind of one of those nights where we're just kind of hang out. It's been a while since I've done a stream. Got some plans, some things coming up here later this month. But I figure I'd come on here tonight and we'll just hang out for a little bit. I don't know how long I'll go. We'll see where the conversation takes us. Not a lot going on in the world of Romero. I saw that Weekend of the Dead announced their show next year is going to be their final show in 2025. Which kind of sucks because I would, it's another one of those things where it's like you always talk about, man, I really want to do that. I'd love to do that sometime. And then it's like, well, you got one more opportunity, and then and then it's done, and you're like, oh shit. But yeah, I don't know. That would be that'd be really cool. I've never been overseas. I've never been outside of the country. So that'd be the perfect opportunity to visit the UK for the first time. But yeah, that's going to be next year. I think right around the same time. They've already announced Boyd Banks from Land of the Dead, the butcher zombie. Here, I got him right here, actually. This fella, they've already announced him for next year. That's a pretty good gift. But that's also kind of a sign to me, I take it, that with next year being the 20th anniversary of Land of the Dead, I think there's probably a pretty good chance that we're going to see some of these guys at Living Dead Weekend in June. Boyd Banks, Eugene Clark. I did see Sean. What's his name? He was just on the Garf Network not long ago. But I saw him. He's done a couple of conventions here recently. Sean Roberts, that's his name. I didn't want to say Sean, but that's a wrestler. Anyway, Shawn Michaels. Yeah, he's going to be there next year. But yeah, that's kind of telling me that they're kind of out and about gearing up to do some appearances next year for the 20th anniversary. Which whether or not you're a fan of Land of the Dead or not, it's kind of cool that that these guys are up to doing it, and it's be interesting. It's going to be kind of a new cast of characters, kind of making some of the circuits because 20th anniversary of Land of the Dead. I would expect them to do some different conventions, some different reunions and different shows. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's pretty exciting. Although it's weird, like in 2008, when I went to my first convention, Sean Roberts was there with Michelle. What's her? I can't remember her last name. It's Michelle something from Diary of the Dead. They were there promoting the movie. Eugene Clark was there. Robert Joy was there. That would be an awesome get. I would love to meet him. I didn't get a chance to meet him at the time. Because for one, it was like, 3 years after Land of the Dead, and it was just kind of like, I'll see him again. He's going to do more of these down the line. So, and it was just so many other people to meet and so much other, things to spend money on at that convention. But I don't think he's done very many since then, as Robert Joy. So I don't know. That would be a really big one for me. I'd love to meet him, talk to him, because I really don't know. I haven't seen him in much since. And of course, he was also in the Dark Half too. So there's another Romero connection for Robert Joy, and George always talked highly of Robert. Loved any commentaries or interviews that he was talking about, Land of the Dead when it came out to kind of promote it. anytime he'd bring up Robert Joy, he would always kind of light up and be like, "Oh, I love Robert. Robert does a great job." And like I said, he'd worked with him before on The Dark Half. So, but that would be an interesting one. That would be a cool one to get. I don't think like a Simon Baker or anything would do any of the shows. Which I don't know. I don't know what he's up to. I don't know where his career went. I know he had that TV show on CBS for a while, The Mentalist. I don't know if that's still on or if he made enough money off of that to where he doesn't feel the need to do these conventions yet. We'll just say yet. Ozzy, if they could get Ozzy Argento for a 20th anniversary Land of the Dead reunion, fucking forget about it. Take my money. I'd love to meet Ozzy. Although there's like she got in some hot water or something a while back. I don't know anything about it, and I didn't really read too much about it. So I guess between her and um what's his name, the guy that did the like the food show, he died a few years back. God, Anthony Bourdain, that's his name. I should have remembered, but anyway, I'm a little rusty. It's been a while since I've been on here. Let's see, we got the chat. I saw some comments earlier. It's so Synth saying, I hope it's good news. What's up, Synth? This sounds ominous. Yeah, I didn't mean the title to be as ominous sounding as it was. Matt texted me after I put up, promoted the video. And he's like, "Oh, this is a little concerning." I was like, "Well, I don't know. We'll talk about it. It's nothing. I'm not quitting or anything like that, but Alex, what's going on, man? Sonic Al's in the house. Chief Sonic Al, Sonic Impact here. What's tonight's topic about? Anything you guys want to talk about? What do you guys want to bring up and talk about? We're just gonna hang out and chat. I got some stuff we can talk about. Christmas coming up. We can talk a little Christmas, some Christmas music. Are you guys fans of Christmas music? I know Sonic Al's a big music guy, so I don't know how he feels about Christmas music. Let me see. Hang on a second. Oh, Chucky's by the fireplace, so that's always comforting. Sorry, I got a text from Jade downstairs. But yeah, Christmas is coming up. There's a lot to talk about. Whatever you guys want to talk about tonight, that's the topic for tonight. And we'll talk about some future shows, some stuff coming up here this month that I'm really excited about and I've been working on, and I think it's going to be some really fun shows. Yeah, this connection is just not very good right now. Hopefully I'm coming in okay, guys. I'm gonna try to catch up on these comments. I'm gonna get about 30 minutes in the comments. People are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, well your connection sucks." Let's see. Got some hellos. Are we going to be talking about more Dawn of the Dead topics? We're always talking Dawn of the Dead on here, man. Anything you guys want to talk about? Anytime anybody wants to talk about Dawn of the Dead, I'm here for it. So, that's the thing with Dawn of the Dead. Like when you're a fan, it's like there's always more to talk. There's always something else to talk about with it. It's like it's a never-ending topic. It's just it's a real rabbit hole. Since saying, okay, the cat is out of the bag. He's announcing his love of Dawn 2004 over all of the zombie movies. You're right. No, that's a movie that I like less and less. Like I every time I watch it or I think about it more and I start piecing it together, because like when I first saw it, I didn't think it was that bad. But over the years, like the more I watch it, the more the more I watch it away from, oh, it's a zombie movie at a period where we don't get a lot of zombie movies. Whereas like in 2004, we didn't get a whole lot of zombie movies. So at the time it was like, oh shit, a new zombie movie. That's awesome. And it's based on Dawn of the Dead. And there's all these references to my favorite movie ever. Hey, this is pretty cool. It's not bad. But the farther I get away from that, and the more that I just watch it now when just as a movie, the more I'm just like, it's just not, it doesn't do it for me. It's not very good. That's the fairest take I can give on Dawn 2004. But no, that's not it. No, we're not changing the channel to Alpha Snyder. We're gonna be just talking all Zack Snyder all the time. I'd rather eat a bullet than do that, to be honest with you. No, don't worry about it. Oh dear, says Alex. No, don't worry about it. Matt, what's going on, man? Matt Landrum in the house. Good evening, friends. Saying hey to Matt and everybody. Got Robert W. Harpitz the second. What's going on, man? I hope he's not abandoning the channel. No, I'm not abandoning the channel. Not yet. Not yet. I still enjoyed hanging out, talking to you guys, talking a little Romero every now and then. It's just been really busy lately. We had the holidays and, traveled to Nashville to see Goblin, and the week came, and I was like, "Oh, I'll do a stream, I'll talk about it," and it's just like, oh, and it's been freezing as shit. It's been colder than a vampire's demeanor outside, as Norm Macdonald would say. I don't want to take credit for that one, uh, but yeah, it's just been like one of those where it's just like, just I don't know, a little bit, I don't know, not down, but it's just that time of year where it gets cold and you just want to just hang out inside and watch movies and stuff. Which I've been watching a lot of movies. One a classic we can talk about in a second that I haven't watched in a long time. It's Romero related. We'll say that. Yeah, it's what I call Romero adjacent. It's one of those. Um, Thanks. I love in the music I'm hearing right now. I guess you're talking about the intro music. Yeah, that's I discovered that the other day, just listening on Spotify, and I was like, "Oh, I like that." And I try to find songs that are shorter because if I put in a song, it's like 4 minutes long. I'm just sitting here. I'm just like, God, when is this fucking song gonna end? But a little shorter, like something 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. I'm like, all right, I'm in the mood now. Let's roll. Like I don't want to be here all night. Um, That's a good way to put it. Shoegaze with a beat. I listen to a lot of shoegaze music lately. So you get a little echo in my voice. Oh, I hope it's not too bad, guys. I haven't seen the little fucking connector icon up in the corner's gone away, so that's a plus. Bonnie, what's up? Bonnie and Bailey's in the house. Hello, she says. Good to see you as always. I hope you're doing well. Here's the man himself, Rick, the North Going Llama. What's going on, man? Good to see you, and good to say your name as always. So do you use the loopback tool for audio still? No. I just plug it into the fucking USB into the MacBook, and I rebooted the computer. I did a restart on the computer and everything before, so I was hoping to clear it, but you never fucking know with this thing, man. Technology. Uh, Ed, what's going on, man? Ed Trader just found me on Facebook the other day. I was happy to see that. Little Jumpy, good enough for Broadway. All right, I'll take it. But yeah, good to see you, man. Good to have you in here. The future is echoes. Yeah, it's what is that, ASMR or whatever they call it? It's an effect. It's like an effect you would use in a song. It's art, baby. It's art. Rick saying wishing happy holidays to all. Absolutely. Hope everybody is getting in the holiday spirit. I don't know if you guys have done any Christmas shopping or anything yet. This is something I was thinking about. I haven't done any fucking Christmas shopping, and usually every year I try to at least go out and shop. If not locally, then just at the local mall. If nothing else, I mean, being the Dawn of the Dead fan, lover of fucking shopping malls that I am. I mean, I travel 8 hours to Pittsburgh once a year at least to visit a mall. So, but you try to get out and try to hit the malls and shit. I don't do the Black Friday shit. Absolutely not. That's insane. But I don't even know if they do that anymore. Is Black Friday even what it used to be? Because I remember back in the day, like on Black Friday, like you'd get up. Like I remember me and my cousin, we would stay with my aunt and uncle, and they were ones they'd stay up all night, and then they'd go to the mall or Walmart or wherever, and it'd be like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And for us, as like teenagers, I guess we were preteens, whatever you want to call it, like staying up until all night, like pulling an all nighter and going to Walmart at 3-4 o'clock in the morning to watch people fucking pummel each other over Cabbage Patch dolls. I mean, it was a fucking experience. Like Black Friday used to be an experience. If you went to shop, then what are you thinking? Like, don't do that. But just go to watch people. Just go to experience what George was warning us about all those years ago. The scenes in Dawn where the zombies are clawing like at the fucking window. Like that's what it's like, before they open those doors. Like people are just standing there, like trying to be the first, and just like, oh my god, I gotta, we can save $20 on a TV. We gotta fucking, club this old lady over the head to get to it. I mean, one year I remember at Walmart, like the big toy at the time was Cabbage Patch dolls. And this is like, I think the original Cabbage Patch dolls were big in the 80s or the early 90s. And this was like the second wave of, the popularity of Cabbage Patch dolls out of nowhere. Like I don't know what the hell brought that back, but so it's like, 3-4 o'clock in the morning, we're standing in Walmart. We're at a distance. We're climbing, like me and my cousin we've kind of stepped up on one of the display racks to kind of get a better look at it. Because what they would do is they would set all the products, all the Cabbage Patch dolls, all that shit, right in the middle of the aisles, with saran wrapped where nobody could get to it. And then they'd have one poor soul, some like 19-year-old kid working at fucking Walmart, with a box cutter. And as soon as it would hit like 3, 4 o'clock, whatever it was, he'd fucking open it. He'd cut the fucking saran wrap, and then all of a sudden, these people would just trample each other, climbing on top of each other to grab 2, 3, 4 at a time, just armfuls of fucking Cabbage Patch dolls. And this dude fucking cut the saran wrap. And we saw Cabbage Patch dolls flying in the air. Just people just like fucking like it literally looked like people just dove in head first to this pile of Cabbage Patch dolls and just started fucking slinging them everywhere. I mean, it was insane. One year I saw these two women get into a literal fist fight over um, a pay as you go phone. You know what I mean? Like those Smart Talk or whatever the hell those are called in Walmart. It's insane. Like it's insanity. So no, I don't do that, but um I like to go out, to the malls or shop, at local record stores and shit like that. Um I know it's easier now to just kind of do it all online and shit, but it's just not the same, Like that was always a ritual me and my dad had when I was a kid. We'd always go, like my sister and my mom would go Christmas shopping. Me and my dad go Christmas shopping on the same day, and we'd shop for each other. Um, and it's always better just to go with no idea of what you're going to get. You just have a list of people in your head, and you want to, if you come across something that you're like, oh, they would love that. Like that's always more exciting. Like one of the most fun times I ever had was at Opry Mills in Nashville, like a huge shopping mall. I mean, it was like they replaced an amusement park with the shopping mall basically, and and one of the best memories I ever had, and I was probably early 20s, is that me and my girlfriend at the time, we were going to Christmas shop. We were Christmas shopping at the mall, and there were so many goddamn people. Like it was just packed, asshole to asshole. Um, and we just said, "Fuck it, we got to get out of here." We went to the food court. They had a Chili's, the restaurant Chili's. We went in there and we drank about 4 or 5 Long Island iced teas, and we were smashed. And after that, that was Christmas shopping was a hell of a lot more fun. And just walk around Opry Mills and just fucking like the people didn't matter anymore. We were just we didn't care. Um, that's the fun of Christmas shopping, man. Getting shit faced and fucking enjoying consumerism at its finest, at its purest. Fuck all this Amazon shopping online stuff. Come on now. That's not the Christmas spirit that I know, damn it. That's not the Christmas that I grew up with. The Christmas I grew up with was trampling each other for cheap pieces of shit toys from China. And if you had to kill someone to get to it, by God, you killed them. That's Christmas to me. Um, what's up, Mayor? Damn, you're the second person I know of went to see Claudio Simonetti. So jealous. Yeah, man, it was really awesome. It was like it's one of those things I've been wanting to do for years and years and years, and it just never worked out. Like it was either right in the middle of the week, and I had to work because I used to work at nights, so I couldn't get off, or it was just too far away. It was always something. So when I saw they were on tour this year, I had to go. I had to make a point to fucking go because it was on a Saturday night. It was in Nashville. I know my buddy Will would be down to go with me because I mean I don't know anybody else that's really into Goblin. Like none of my friends would have been like, "What the fuck is this? Like this is not this is what I was expecting." Um, so yeah, I had to do it, man. It was a lot of fun. I'll talk about that here in a second. Let me get to the rest of these comments here real quick because I'm pretty fucking far behind. So. Um, since the prep's on my end, I may have 2 YouTube windows open. Oops. Hey, I'll take the viewers. I'll take the extra viewer. If you're watching me on 2 different windows, I'll take that. Which, speaking of, everybody in the chat, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if this is your first time watching. And of course, that notifications bell, which the cool thing about me is, I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't really post a whole lot. I haven't been posting a whole lot. Maybe that'll change. But the good thing about when you hit that notifications bell, you go to a lot of channels, you hit that notifications bell, and you're getting updated all the fucking time because they're dropping things like daily, and you're just like, after a while, you're just tired of seeing it. Me, you're gonna get a little ring a ding ding from me maybe once a week, and it's just like, hey, I'm going live. You want to come hang out? Talk some Romero? Come on. So that's a plus. So if you hit that notifications bell on me, I won't blow your phone up like a crazy ex-girlfriend. So that's a good thing. Because I've made that mistake with some different YouTube channels. It's just like constant. It's just like Jesus Christ. Like I don't even want to watch this anymore. Um, well, let's see. We got some sappy late Thanksgiving. Yeah, I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. Yeah, I had a good Thanksgiving. I've let my eating get out of control a little bit here lately from Thanksgiving. There's just so much, you get the leftover pies and leftover turkey and all that good stuff. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to think about these fucking holidays, man. They'll knock you off. Um, Robert saying, I love land. Hope I can make it next year for the first time. Yeah, I hope you can too, man. If you can make a Living Dead weekend, because like I said, it's 20th anniversary of land, um, 40th anniversary of Day of the Dead. I know there's gonna be a Day of the Dead reunion. I mean, 1985. I mean, there's just so much to celebrate 1985 as it is. I mean, Reanimator, Return of the Living Dead. Um, I mean, there's so many like Friday. I love Friday Five. Everybody knows I love Friday Five. Um, yeah, 85 was like a peak year for me in the 80s in terms of like the quality of the horror films we were getting at the time. Like 85 is probably the best year of the 80s. What do you guys think for horror? Like, what do you think is the best year um in the 80s? So I think 85 is pretty hard to fucking beat. 86 was pretty good. 84 84 was not bad. 80 was pretty goddamn good. I mean, you had The Shining, Friday the 13th, Maniac. I mean, so many of my favorite movies were made in 1980. I mean, that's not even counting like a lot of the Italian stuff. So I think Gates of Hell, I think that was 80, if I remember correctly. City of the Living Dead, I think that was 80. Nightmare City, I think that was 1980. Cannibal Holocaust, I think was it 1980. So I mean, it's 80 or 85 for me, I think. Pretty fucking hard to beat. Robert Joy is on From. Okay, I didn't know that. I mean, he's a hell of an actor. I mean, I'm hoping he's still acting out there. Matt saying Goblin Ripped here in Atlanta. Great show, and awesome to see them perform Demons live. Yeah, I love the Demons theme. It's so out there. It's dancey. It's very like 80s funky. Like that's a great Claudio track, and he played that in Nashville when we saw him. He played pretty much everything. I mean, it was pretty much a greatest hits. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be, the ultimate anthology or whatever. And it was pretty much, I mean, it was everything you'd want to hear, and plus some, like you didn't expect. Um, Come on, Chase. So, like I said, I'm watching the game. Like I said, I got fantasy football implications to like playoffs start next week. I don't know if you guys play fantasy football or anybody gives a shit about fantasy football, um, but yeah, playoffs start next week. I started the season 0-5. This is all I'll talk about fantasy football, I promise. I started the season 0-5. I've now won 8 straight games, and I need. Oh fuck! This is awesome. Let's go ahead and say it. 9 straight games going into the playoffs. That's right, baby. Moneyball. I'm the Billy Bean of fantasy football. Which is a great line. Moneyball is one of those movies, like it's a baseball movie and stuff. And I love. I don't like baseball at all. It's funny. I would never watch baseball on TV, but I've been to some baseball games. It's pretty fun. I like going to the games, but I love baseball movies. And Moneyball is one of those guilty pleasures. I mean, I've watched it again the other night, and I was just like, God, I fucking love this movie. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's just it gets my I don't know, it gets me excited. It gets my juices flowing when I watch that movie. It's so good. But there's a great line in that movie that I hate, where he says, "I hate losing more than I like winning," and that's how I feel about fantasy football. Like I hate fucking losing. Like it ruins my day. I'm that crazy about it. And when I win, I'm just like, okay, well, moving on. Anyway, let's see. Synth says Ozzy with underage guys. Well, a reverse Me Too. Does that count? I mean, can we Me Too women, especially Ozzy? I mean, it's Dario's daughter. Yeah, I'm just kidding. As the father of a daughter, yeah, that would you know, if roles reverse there. Yeah, I can understand that, but lucky guy. That's all I'm gonna say. Lucky kid. When I was underage, I wish Ozzy or somebody like Ozzy would have come after me. What's up, John? John Bullow's in the house saying hi. Good to see you, John. Always good to have you stop by. Check out John. Check out the Image 10 website. John's still doing the unearthing the undead, finding all these never before pinpointed people. Recently, including Judith O'Dea's father, which I had no idea. Judith O'Dea's father was in Night of the Living Dead, which is pretty fucking cool to find out. So check out the Image 10 website. It's like image-10.com, I believe. Just Google Image 10, it'll pop up. But a lot of really good stuff on there. I was looking at that website earlier. A lot of the behind the scenes stuff, a lot of the behind the scenes photos that I'd never seen before. Seen George and Russ, looking at the screenplay. Like, that was an awesome photo. So check it out. Check out the Image 2 website. They got a lot of good stuff on there. But always good to see you, man. Some hellos. Bonnie says, found out Goblin will be in Chicago this Thursday. Bad day for me to go, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Evansville, I mean, it's like we're a city, but we're not really a big city. We're not like a destination spot for bands or acts to stop, like when they're on tour. Like, we'll get some stuff every now and then. Like, I saw Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers here years ago. But it was like, they weren't like on like a world tour or anything. It was just kind of like they were just playing some shows here and there. So for me to go to a concert to see anything like Goblin or something like that, I'd have to go to like Nashville, Louisville, Indianapolis maybe, and doing that on a weeknight's just not in the cards for me. As you guys can hear, Abby is saying hello with her big mouth as usual. That's my snack friend. Abby comes up here at night when I'm chilling and snacking. She's a big corn nuts fan. I found out. That's my dog, by the way, Abby. I just say Abby. I assumed you guys hear the barking, so I assumed you guys knew who the fuck I was talking about. But you guys were like, Abby, is that like a secret girlfriend or something? They just snack together and then she disappears. Mike's losing his mind. Sounds like Goblin was awesome. Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was a different type of show than I was used to, but I'll get into it in a second. Let me try to catch up on these comments. I'm still trying to catch up. I'm still like 15 minutes behind. Okay, Robert saying sound perfect. Thank you very much. So you're a little soft visually, but no major glitches. Hey, I'll look soft. I moisturize. Rick said, I'm looking for some Return of the Living Dead merch. Saw some cool stuff. Oh, there's all kinds of Return of the Living Dead stuff out there. I think that middle of Beyond, I think, is the website. They do like clothing and stuff. I think they got some Return of the Living stuff up there. They got some Dawn of the Dead stuff. I think they were having a sale here recently. I don't know if they're still having the sale or not. But they got some officially licensed, which they call it Zombie Dawn. It's the Italian, but I guess that's who they licensed it from to get around dealing with Richard Rubenstein, which I don't blame them. But they got some pretty cool stuff. They were the one that did the airport zombie rug. I don't know if you guys saw that. I think Matt has one. I'm contemplating getting that sucker. I really, really want that. And I got the perfect fucking spot for it over there. But yeah, check that out. I think middleofbeyond.com. I think they have some pretty cool Return Limited stuff. John says, thanks. Too busy focused on night stuff. Got 2 new names over the weekend. That's cool. Had a fan come up to me at a show and had to explain what I'm doing, but more special announcements will be coming. Looking forward to it, man. I mean, that's the thing. John's always working and digging and finding new shit. So I'm always excited to see what else he's going to come up with. But you can see a lot of it on the Image 10 websites. Check that out. Since that's why I said it, I literally hate the Dawn 2004 movie. I understand. I'm kind of with you on that one. Rick says I was a big fan of the Clerks movies when they came out. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Clerks movies. I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. I'll say it. I mean, a lot of people give Kevin Smith a lot of shit now because he is kind of over the top. I mean, he's just like, hey, man, what's up? He's that guy now. And he's kind of become just a cartoon character of himself. When you watch him like back in the day in like interviews, or if you watch the original like Evening with Kevin Smith or something like that, it's like a completely different guy, but he's still hilarious. But it's just a different energy to him, I guess. But yeah, I mean, Clerks is one of the most like influential movies of my life. Like the story of how that movie got made. I mean, it's very reminiscent of like Night of the Living Dead. It's like a group of friends getting together and making a movie. Um, I love that story. That's stuff that inspires me. That's why I'm a huge fan. That's really what drew me to Romero and Night, Dawn, because it always felt like, even with like Dawn, like all the way up through like Day of the Dead, it always just felt like George was like, me and a group of friends got together and made this movie. Even though, like, they had budgets later on and they were bringing in, some professional people to work on some of the stuff, but it always felt like, oh, we're making this in Pittsburgh. I'm using the same people that I like to work with and I always can trust. And that's kind of the same with Clerks. Like Clerks was like Kevin Smith worked with Scott Mosier all those years as a producer. Always works with Jason Mewes and always used a lot of the same cast members and a lot of the same crew. That's what attracts me. Like that's what I love about like regional filmmakers like that. Like you can identify, like when I think of George, I think of Pittsburgh, like Western PA. When I think of Kevin Smith, I think of New Jersey. Like he's the Jersey guy, and it makes me want to go visit. I've never been to the Quick Stop or any of the other locations up there, but I've always wanted to visit New Jersey just to visit, the secret stash and I gotta visit the fucking the TESD town. It's one of my favorite podcasts too. If you guys are into podcasts out there, anyway, yeah, love Clerks. There's Larry. What's up, man? Almost forgot about this. I'm here. Well, good to see you, man. Appreciate you stopping in. So okay, since I know, thanks. Let's see. I might skip over a few of these. John says that reminds me. I watched Suspiria last week again. My second ever watch. Music was so much better for the film. Um, by itself, it doesn't work so much. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I could see that. Um, yeah, I could definitely understand that feeling. And I think my appreciation of music comes from a lot more of just knowing the movie. Like, 'cause it's we got children screaming downstairs. Give me 1 second. Everly has been really, really difficult to get in bed here lately. Like, she does not want to go to sleep. And she'll throw the goddamnest fits you ever seen in your life. If you don't have kids, there's your inspiration right there. Anyway, what the fuck I was talking about? But yeah, I can totally see that. I was gonna say, I forget the name of it, but I'm one of those people that kind of associates things with colors, like even down to people. Like when I think of certain people, I there's a color that comes to mind, and Suspiria is like that. When I hear the music, like I associate the colors and the imagery from the movie to the music, and vice versa. Um, which is one of my one of my complaints about the show that we saw, the Goblin show, was when they played Suspiria. I was really hoping that they would, because they have the screen in the back, and of course they play like scenes and clips from the movies when they're playing the music from the movies. And my one big complaint is that when they played Suspiria, they didn't play anything from the movie. They basically just played the music video that they had done for their song Suspiria, basically behind it. They didn't use any of the footage from the movie, which is kind of disappointing for me. Because like kind of like what you're saying, like like associating the two together. It's like peanut butter and jelly. It's a perfect combination. Robert saying, in my opinion, whether you like the Dawn remake or not, it is a love letter to Romero. I don't know about that. I wouldn't say that it's a love letter to Romero. I think James Gunn is a smart enough guy. I mean, just looking at his track record and what he did after Dawn of the Dead, I think James Gunn is a guy, and Zack Snyder too, that are smart enough to kind of know how to incorporate fan service into things. Because I think if it was a true love letter to George and the original Dawn of the Dead, it would have had the same spirit in a way. And I never felt like that movie really didn't have the same spirit and didn't have a point. And like I mentioned before, like I never really felt like that movie really had a point. Which George would never make a movie that did not have a point, whether you liked it or not, whether it was a good movie or not. Like there's always a point to it. There's something else to it. There's a point for it to be made. George was making a point making it, I guess is what the fuck I'm trying to say. But so I don't know. I kind of disagree with you on that one. I do think, I mean, it's a fine little action movie. It's a fine little action horror movie, but um, and because of its success, George was able to reboot his Dead series, and because of that, I love the movie. Now that I will agree with, I do heavily believe that Dawn's success, and plus we got a whole new line of original Dawn merchandise, like a lot of the NECA figures and stuff like that. Right around that time, we got. I think the Dawn remake also, if that didn't happen, who knows if we would have gotten the ultimate box set DVD uh, collection from Anchor Bay. And we got a lot of Dawn stuff at around that time. Like I remember that was a big, big time. Just because Rubenstein was involved in the remake, and I think when the remake came out, Rubenstein also kind of realized that this was an opportunity to make some more money off of the original. Um, and I also think that Rubenstein doing the 3D version of Dawn too was his attempt to kind of. I feel like that's Rubenstein's mo. Is if he's going to do anything with Dawn of the Dead, it has to be based off of something else. It needs some kind of not an unorthodox way of promoting it, like the Dawn remake. It's not connected to the original movie in any way, really, other than the name. But the name was in theaters. It was the number one movie in the country, I believe. And the name Dawn of the Dead was the number one movie in the country. It made a good amount of money. Made a lot of money, and that is a good way to market the original. So I think Rubenstein doing the 3D version was another attempt at him maybe thinking like this is another way that we can get Dawn back into theaters and kind of use that as a way to promote the movie again, and then maybe we can do a Blu-ray release or a 4K release here in the US, or whatever he was thinking. I don't know. That's a whole other fucking story. It's like, what is Richard Rubenstein thinking? Like that's um that that would take a hell of a stream to kind of break all that down, and try to figure that shit out. Um, but yeah, I do agree with you on that one, Robert. Um, George was able. It gave George the opportunity to make movies again, and I do appreciate it for that, for sure. Fuck, we're still talking about Black Friday. I'm really behind, guys. I apologize. Mayor says Black Friday is pretty much the entire month of November now, but it's pretty much all online. Yeah, that's true. I've seen a lot of Black Friday sales. It's been going on for forever and ever and ever. Um, it's yeah, pretty much the entire month of November and December at this point. I think so. There's a lot of good sales on right now. I know Arrow's got a sale going on right now. If any of you guys need to pick up the Arrow version of the Crazies, Season of the Witch, or There's Always Vanilla, they're all on sale right now on the Arrow website. The Arrow versions, I think they're $17.99, I believe, half off. Which they say half off, but you never pay full price for those ever. But it's still $18, not bad. And they're great release. They look great. I mean, you got good bonus features. It's got the stuff that Larry worked on, a lot of location stuff. Vanilla's got that great documentary on the making of There's Always Vanilla. It's interesting to hear John Russo and Russ Streiner and all those guys talking about making There's Always Vanilla, because it was kind of a movie that nobody ever talked about for years and years. And even on that Anchor Bay DVD, when they're interviewing George about There's Always Vanilla, like George really didn't want to talk about There's Always Vanilla. He's just kind of like, it's a movie that I made. I don't really think a lot about, and I really don't care to think about it too much. And it's just like, oh. So it's kind of cool hearing those stories, especially about John Russo's wife and her joint rolling abilities. That was some fun information to find out. See, Robert said, when something bad happens, we're not there to help. We're there to watch. That's it's true. Very, very true. Very sad. Alexander, I wish to God they included our original heroes and antagonists in the remake of Dawn of the Dead. That wasn't fair to leave them out. And the zombies running was totally wrong. Yeah, the running zombies thing never really bothered me, because I don't really give a shit about that. Like it doesn't, like running zombies, slow zombies, I don't really give a shit. It doesn't affect the movie one way or the other, because I love Return of the Living Dead, and those zombies, run. But nobody really ever seems to point that out or give a shit about that. But yeah, they're fast in Return of the Living Dead. It makes even less sense, because in Return of the Living Dead, they're coming out of the ground. Like they're zombies that literally are coming out of the ground, that have been rotting underground for years. And yet they come out of the ground, they can sprint. But yeah, that never really bothered me. It's just more about the story, and there's really no reason. Like there's no I don't know. There's no meat on the bone, I guess is what I'm trying to say on that movie. What's up, man? Man, Steven Ustrak. That's where I'm going with. Steven Ustrak Jr. What's up, man? That's a new name in the chat. I'm glad to see you. In my defense, that's when they had $4 DVDs back when that really meant something. Uh, what are we referring to it? I probably missed a comment. I apologize. Um, yeah, I must have missed something. Anyway, good to see you, man. Glad you're able to join us. Rick saying, yep, Stormtrooper holiday shoppers. Remember? Oh, okay. You're talking about Black Friday. See, I'm so far fucking behind on these comments. I got to catch up, guys. I apologize. We're still talking about $4 DVDs on Black Friday. That I understand that. Okay. I get that now. That was a big thing. I do remember that for sure. I may have partaken in that a little bit at certain times, but okay. Stormtrooper holiday shoppers. Remember those days well? Yeah. Let's see. We got some. Hey, Larry. Rick says people literally get injured scrambling for those early bird deals. Yeah, I mean, there's literally stories of people getting trampled to death on Black Friday. So, um, since saying Black Friday and Cyber Week stuff is best for music gear and electronics, computer-based instruments are dirt cheap in those sales. Yeah, I mean, there you can definitely find some sales, but I mean, I guess if you're doing it online, I mean, I guess that's one thing. But I'm not going to fight anybody over over a sale on something like we used to do back in the day. You know what I mean? Um, Rick saying it's true. 1985 was a very good year. Rick saying 84 was a stellar year. Yeah, I mean the 80s in general were pretty goddamn good. Start to finish there. If I can get that out, start to finish. I was gonna say start to end, but then like my brain was like stay finished. You know when that happens? You, you start to say one thing, but then your brain's like no, say this. Anyway. No, Zombie versus Dawn, and that's the thing. I like Zombie. Like I'm a Fulci fan. Like I love Zombie. That's one of my. That's I love that movie. So I'm not. There's no battle there between those movies. It was just at the time I had to defend Dawn. Like nobody was standing up for the greatest goddamn movie ever made. I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Um, which all love to Dirk. Like Dirk's not a Dawn fan, but Dirk, check out his channel, Subjective Perspective Collective. He had me on about a month or so ago, and it was a lot of fun. Talking about some Euro zombie films with those guys. Um, but I mean, and that's something I hear all the time, and it's like a topic of conversation we can go off on again forever. But like I don't know about you guys, but when I hear like when I hear stories like people like, oh, I saw Dawn of the Dead for the first time. I'm like, oh, what did you think? Did it change your life? And it's like that's what I'm expecting. They're like, oh my god, yes, but they're always just like, it's fine. I'm just like, what? Or you get those people that are just like, I didn't get it. And the thing I hear a lot now, and I don't get it all, and I've heard Dirk say this, and I've heard it here a lot here lately, is that they found it boring. And I'm like, what? Like I don't like of all things, like I'm like, oh, I didn't like it. It's a little too old, or it's a little too corny. Like the blue zombies, like I understand that. Like some people look at like the blue face zombies and they're just like, oh man, this looks dated. And it's like if you can't accept that or get past that, then it's going to distract the whole movie. But whatever. But when people say it's boring, I'm just like, what? Like I don't that I don't comprehend. Um, but I don't know. Like when people like whether your favorite movie is Dawn of the Dead or whatever your favorite movie is out there, like when somebody else tells you that they saw it and that they are just like iffy on it or they didn't quite get it or whatever, like does that make you rethink your opinion on the movie where you're just like, man, what am I missing? Or like, am I like, I don't know, is something wrong with me? Like, you guys ever feel that way? Because sometimes when I hear that, I'm just like, am I watching the same fucking movie as these people? Like, no freaking way. But I will say, like 90% of the time, anytime I show somebody Dawn of the Dead, even if it's not like their favorite movie ever or anything, they're just like, oh yeah, that was really good. That was pretty cool. Like the idea of being in the mall and all that, like that always kind of plays with people. Um, but yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Alex, in 1984 was the year Christmas Carol with George C. Scott was made. Yeah, my fiance was just watching that last night, actually. Same with Purple Rain, Never Ending Story. Yeah, I mean, like I said, 80s are loaded from top to bottom. What's up, Michael? That's my name too, Michael Rajpal. That's what I'm going with. Good to see you, man. It's a new name in here tonight. I appreciate it. I saw Goblin perform tonight in Toronto. They were awesome. Hell yeah. Um, we're so I'm in Toronto. So yeah, I guess they're coming back down because I know Bonnie said they're playing in Chicago. Yeah, they're playing all over the place. And we'll talk about the Goblin show that I went to here in just a second. Let me catch up. I think I'm about caught up on these comments. Oh, and Spudsy. So Alex and Spudsy Sparchino joined Modern Man as lead singer. New lead singer. He took Gary Holman's place. Alrighty. So that took place in '84 as well. And of course, we all know the hit song from Day of the Dead. Take me to the world. Robert saying Sandlot is my favorite baseball movie. Believe it or not. I grew up with Sandlot. I love Sandlot. But yeah, Moneyball might be my favorite baseball movie ever. I love baseball movies, like I said. I don't know what it is about that movie, but I can watch that fucking movie any day of the week. It just hits right. Landersman, 1980, City of the Living Dead, Argento's Inferno, Friday the 13th, Maniac, The Fog. Yeah, The Fog was 1980. Yeah, 80 is pretty fucking hard to beat. It's between 80 and 85, I think, for sure. It's like the best year for horror in the 80s. What else? I feel like I'm forgetting something else that came out, something else big that came out in the 80 or 1980. Maybe it'll pop up to me here in a minute. Maybe somebody else will say it. See, since then, any Goblin is a good thing, but sadly, watching Simon Eddy's live versions of his old Goblin stuff on YouTube has changed more than it should because I like the old stuff that much. Yeah, that was one thing too. Seeing Claudio's Goblin, it's definitely more of like a rock. And we talked about this on the last stream that we did, Synth, with Paul, talking about Goblin. Is that the new modern stuff, the Claudio Simonetti Goblin and the Demonia stuff is definitely more based in like hard rock, heavy metal, like and it's still good. I mean, just the drummer, like watching the drummer live was just like holy shit, like this dude's just fucking playing his ass off for 2 hours straight. Um, but yeah, like I would love to go back and see that original lineup and just kind of taking all that in, especially when they were playing like some of the stuff from Roller and stuff. Like they played some tracks from Roller at the concert, but it just wasn't like it was great. It sounded fantastic, but it wasn't. I would just love to go back and hear that original lineup. Play those songs. See, Alex, Sensei and Alex, the Sputsy stuff and data really didn't fit, in my humble opinion, but I know some folks like it. Yeah, I mean, I mean, Alex saying loves the Sputsy music. Yeah, that was always a weird choice to me, like at the end of the movie, but you love the movie. You've seen it so many times over the years that it's just become one of those. It's one of those songs that when I met my fiance and we were doing our little joint playlist on Spotify, I put that song on there. Let me take me to the world inside your eyes. Come on now, who would turn a man down that played that song for you? Yeah, yeah, we do. It's pretty funny. Um, it just feels so out of place. When I first heard it, I was like, "Is this John Harrison singing?" But um, let me see. We get so we got some back and forth going on here. I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to catch up, guys. So I apologize if I'm missing any comments. Um, here we go. Since then, Snyder went beyond fan service for Army of the Dead, mini beats and scenes stolen right out of Aliens. Never saw it. Never had any interest in seeing that movie. I saw the previews for it, and I was just like, no thanks. Since then, you can credit Snyder with making the name Dawn popular again in more zombie fandom. Yeah, like you can credit Musk for making e-cars popular in general, but goodness stops there. Can't stand either guy. There you go. Robert saying Ken Forey and Tom Savini came back for 2004. That's why I say it's a love letter. I don't give a crap about the director. Yeah, I mean they definitely. I mean Scott Reiniger also had a little role in it. Galen turned it down. I remember she mentioned that she was offered a little cameo, but she turned it down. And I'm not sure about David. I guess David would have turned it down at that time too. Because they'd have had to have reached out because they ended up naming one of the stores in the mall Galen Ross as a tribute, I guess. Then of course you see like the WGON helicopter flying over the car at the beginning of the movie. Um, but yeah, I've always wondered why, which Galen explained she just wasn't interested. Of course, Galen went on to start working on her own films and her own documentaries and stuff like that, and had her own filmmaking career. But I'm not sure why Dave Emge um, didn't make an appearance in that in some fashion, one way or the other. Um, Sorry, trying to catch up. Vincent Dawn made the zombies blue as well, but it just wasn't the lighting. Yeah, the great Vincent Dawn. Everybody loves Vincent Dawn. Hell yeah, Bonnie. Bonnie says I like what I like. I don't care. Absolutely, like what you like. Like it's that's what I'm saying. Like when people say like it does make me gives me pause. I'm like, well, what am I missing? Like, how are you not seeing what I'm seeing right now? But I also feel that way about music. Like I'll play somebody a song that I think is fucking amazing, and I'll play it for them. They're just like, it's fine. I don't get it. But it's all subjective. It's all taste. It's all life experience. Um, some things are just not gonna hit. Which a movie that I just picked up and watched again for the first time in a really long time. And the first time I saw it, I was just like, "This is awful. Like, I don't want to. Like, this is not very good at all." Um, but then watching it again here recently is the great Flesh Eater from Bill Heinzman. Is it a good movie? No, it's not a good movie, but I enjoyed it. Like I said, it had been years and years and years since I saw it, and I think the first time that I saw this movie, I didn't realize that it was Bill Heinzman. Like I wasn't as in tune with because I mean, this is one that I remember renting like when I was early teens, like when they would, the video store would do like a 5 for 5, rent 5 movies for $5, keep them 5 days. And I was just burning through like fucking horror movies. It was like anything that had to do with zombies or anything like that. I had to watch it. I remember watching this one. I remember it just being like, I was just like, oh, this movie's fucking awful. Like, I don't know, this is terrible. And that's all I ever thought of it. And then years later, I was like, oh, that was Bill Heinzman. And okay. But then over the years, the more that I learned about the movie and the more everything, I ended up finally getting it on Blu-ray. I did not get the 4K from fucking Vinegar Syndrome because I don't feel the need to spend that much money on a 4K for Flesh Eater. But after watching it again, I might. I'll just say that. But it's actually pretty entertaining movie. Like it's the acting's terrible. Like the story makes no fucking sense. But I will say the star of Flesh Eater, the star of this movie, um, is Jerry Gurgley. Gurgly. I can never remember how to pronounce that dude's name. But his effects work on this movie is actually like really good. And they had no fucking money to pull it off, but a lot of it looks pretty damn good. And there's actually a bonus feature on this, like a little behind the scenes documentary that I was thinking about just putting up here on the channel. Um, where it's just him talking about, having putting things together in like a very short period of time with no money and um, no real tools to work with. And what he was able to pull off the movie is pretty impressive. So I would say that if you guys haven't seen Flesh Eater, it was directed by Bill Heinzman, Cemetery Ghoul from Night of the Living Dead. It stars him as well. He comes back. He's reprising his role, quote unquote. He's not, I guess not technically, but I mean, we kind of all know it's all with a wink and a nod. Um, but I mean, it's like I said, bad acting. It's kind of a goofy, but it's Pittsburgh. It's made in Pittsburgh. There's some cameos in it. Vince Stravinsky's got a really cool cameo in it at the end. Like I said, Bill Heinzman's in it. So I mean, it's definitely worth checking out. If you're a Romero fan, check out Flesh Eater. If you haven't, I think there's a rough looking version on YouTube of it if you want to look it up. But yeah, this was one that I remember watching years and years ago, and I never had really the urge to watch it again. And then I was like, I'm gonna give it another shot. So I watch it, and I've kind of, I don't know, it's kind of fun. Like it's kind of a fun, shitty B horror movie. So I don't know, but I also wonder like how much of that has to do with like knowing more about it, knowing more about what went into making it and all that. Because like I said, when I first saw it, like I wasn't as in like I knew Romero, I knew his movies and stuff, but I wasn't like the fan that I am now. So I wonder like how much grace I give to these movies like this, Booby Hatch, Midnight, even some of George's movies, to a degree. Um, like Season of the Witch. Like I know a lot of people don't like Season of the Witch, but I've grown to love it over the years, and I just wonder how much of that has to do with my love and appreciation for George, or my love and appreciation for Bill Heinzman or John Russo, how much of that has to do with my appreciation and my enjoyment of these movies as opposed to are they actually good movies or not? And again, that goes back to when I like when I recommend a movie, am I recommending it because it's a good movie and I really truly believe that it's a good movie and people should see it? Or am I recommending it because I like it for sentimental reasons or personal reasons? Where I appreciate and love the people that made it or the people that are in it, or what is it, what does it really entail? What does it really go into that? Is it as much the product or my affinity for the people that made the product, I guess? Um, because like I said, it's not a good movie. It's not. It's nobody won any Oscars for this movie. I'll just say that. Um, but uh, but like I said, the effects work in it is pretty fucking good. I'll say, and it's worth checking out just for that, and Vince Cervinsky's cameo in the end. Because if you're a Romero fan, I think you'll get a kick out of it. I think you'll appreciate it. Um, or I was saying people just want action, 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 and Don has a story, so they don't like it necessarily. Yeah, it could be, yeah. But I mean, to me, Don always had a lot of action. Like he had cars. I think it's just, I think something about it is so naturalistic and realistic looking because they really did have a motorcycle gang go through the mall. They really were driving a car through the mall. They really were doing all this shit. And I think people with CGI and everything now, like I think people's brains have just been trained to view movies differently or something. I don't know how to explain it. Because like when I watch a movie now, like an action movie now, and it's just like 90% CGI, and you know that shit's not really blowing up. And to me, it's just like I have no interest in watching this. But people eat that shit up, like the superhero movies and the Marvel movies and all that stuff. It's like to me when I watch it, just like this looks like a video game cutscene or something. Like it doesn't. It's not satisfying my hunger for action as much as like an 80s movie, like Commando would. Like when I watch Commando, like that's what I want in an action movie. I want to see shit really blowing up, you know what I mean? Um, so yeah, and I don't know, maybe there's something to that. It's definitely true. That's a good one, Synth. Original Bad News Bears. That's one of my all-time favorites. I love fucking Bad News Bears. Again, a movie that would never get made today. Never get made today. But it's a fucking classic, and it wouldn't get made today because of all the stupid reasons that it wouldn't get made today, and just completely missing the point of that movie, which is literally about in like being inclusive and accepting people for who they are and their differences, because everybody on that team, every kid on that team is completely different. They're all fucked up in one way or the other, but they all come together in the end and they all work together, in spite of their differences and shit, which is what we should be talking about now. But it would never be done that way now because they would just be looking at the shit on the surface and being like, oh well, we can't have that, we gotta, I don't know. But yeah, love Bad News Bears, man. That's definitely up there. Even the remake, I didn't mind because I'm a big Billy Bob Thornton fan, and I thought he did pretty damn good in that movie. I thought he was a good choice for that movie. Definitely doesn't hold up to the great Walter Matthau. I'm a huge Walter Matthau fan too. Um, Definitely doesn't hold up to the original, but I thought the remake wasn't terrible. I thought it was passable, just for Billy Bob's performance, if nothing else. Which Billy Bob Thornton could, act in the biggest piece of shit movie of all time, and his performance would stand out and carry that movie to the end. Rick said there was a very low budget movie in 1986 called Necropolis with Leanne Baker about a witch and zombies in New York City. Never heard of it. Never heard of that one. Necropolis. It's interesting. It's a new one on me. Alex showing some love to Demonia. Started doing more research on Goblin and Demonia back in 2003. Yeah, it's probably about the time that I first discovered Goblin and Demonia and all that stuff. I would say it's probably 2003, 2004, I would guess. Whenever Winamax and LimeWire were huge, that was my period of, because you wouldn't find Goblin CDs at Walmart, you know what I mean? Like that was all we had back in the day. If you wanted to buy music, we had Walmart, FYE, Kmart, I think, was still around at the time, which Kmart was the place to go if you wanted like unedited music. Because Walmart, if you wanted to buy like the new Limp Bizkit album or something, the new Limp Bizkit CD, it was edited. Like it would cut out all the vulgarity and stuff. And who wants to buy that shit? So you go to Kmart to get the unedited version, and it was sometimes cheaper. Um, so yeah, there was no other option for me at the time to to listen to or own Goblin's albums or anything other than just to illegally download them on WinMX or LimeWire, which I probably got quite a few viruses doing. But hey, at the time, we didn't know any better. It was the Wild West back in the day. Matt says Shining 80. Yep, yep, Shining. Which I remember mentioning on last stream. Like The Shining and Friday the 13th came out, I think on the same weekend, and Friday the 13th just pummeled the shit out of The Shining at the box office. Which interestingly enough, like that was a big like opening weekend for horror. But also in '74, I thought it was cool that I remember. I think they were talking about it on Dead Pit. Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Black Christmas opened on the exact same weekend, which is insane. Like, can you imagine going to the movies and having to choose between those two? What do you want to see tonight, hon? Since then, the 2013 Goblin Reunion was pretty damn close, so I got lucky seeing them, and now Moranti is dead. Yeah. Yeah, that's the sad thing is I'll never... Which... I've got it over here. Hang on a second. Which I was able to get Claudio Simonetti's signature on my Dawn album at the concert, which was pretty awesome. I did not get to meet Claudio, though. That was the thing. So at the show, like, after they were done playing, the lady at the merch table, I was talking to her, and I was thinking about buying they had a Goblin hoodie there that I was looking at, and I saw her take some records from this guy, and she was like, okay, I'll be right back. And she went back to the dressing room or whatever and came back, and they were all signed. And I was just like, I looked at Will looked at me, and I was just like, should we go get our shit and see if she'll take it back there to get it signed at least? Because I asked her, I was like, is Claudio coming out? And she was like, nah, he's not coming out tonight. So I was like, well, I went out to the car, got my album. I was like, well, could you, I don't know, would you be able to get that signed? And she was like, oh yeah, give it here. Whatever you got, give it to me. I'll take it back and we'll get it signed. And she was like, where do you want it signed and all that? So that was really cool. At least I got a signature on something. So it's just unfortunate that I won't be able to eventually maybe one day get all of their, all the original members' signatures on it. But I thought that was pretty cool that I was able to get Claudio's at least get a signature. I would love to have met him and talked to him because I'd love to have asked him what we were talking about, me and John, a couple weeks ago. Is like I would love to have asked him how much of the score that he did for Dawn of the Dead, the zombie score, how much of that was inspired by George's library tracks on that original, like the version that George sent over to Italy for Dario to cut. Apparently has that was all library music that George had on that original long full cut of Dawn of the Dead, was just all library music, no Goblin, anything. And I wonder how much of that played a role, because you listen to some of those tracks like, Torta Fascia and Safari, and it's just like immediately like straight out of some of the library stuff that George was using. So I'd love to have asked him about that, like how much of that album was written before, how much of it was inspired by watching the film. Like I would just love to have gotten a little more information about that from Claudio, which that information may be out there, but a lot of Claudio's interviews and stuff are in Italian, and I don't speak Italian, so but yeah, anywho. Alex, what kind of cameo was Galen Ross supposed to have in Donner Mac? She didn't say. I'm sure it would have been something small, like a news reporter or something, but kind of basing off what the other guys' cameos were. But she said that she was offered and she turned it down. So I don't know. We'll never know. Robert saying, I know it's not on topic, but I recently saw Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. It's a PG movie, but holy crap, the movie's intense. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a Bob Clark. Speaking of Black Christmas, that was one of Bob Clark's early films. I think it was 71, I believe, 71, 72 when that movie came out. And yeah, it was PG, and it has like a children, like it has like a kid friendly name, like Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. That sounds kind of like a kid's movie, and it's not at all. But the fact that it's PG, I mean, you got to think like, you got to remember back in the 70s, like PG was parental guidance, was like that was pretty much the same as like a PG-13 or something now. So I mean, Jaws was PG. You gotta remember, I think Jaws was a PG movie. I remember Toby Hooper always talking about like wanting to was his goal was to make Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He wanted that to receive a PG rating, which is why he didn't show blood or anything. Which you think about Texas Chainsaw Massacre and you think like, oh, what a bloody movie. And it's just, like there's no blood in it whatsoever. Like there's some, but it's not nearly as gory and bloody as you tend to remember. Because I think it's the brilliance of that movie is that it's not very bloody, but you when you after you watch it, you look back on it, you feel like you just saw a bloodbath. Um, but yeah, PG was a completely different rating back in the day. And then PG-13 came along, and PG just pretty much means like uh, kids movies now, I guess. Alex loves Flesh Eater. Hell yeah. I haven't seen it maybe 13, 14. It's probably about that long for me. Like I said, it was early teens, preteen maybe. I think this game's about over. Let me check my did I make the big comeback? Please. Like I said, yes. I won 9 weeks in a row. 9 wins in a row, baby. All right. All right. I'm ready to party. I'm ready to celebrate. Let's do it. Sorry. Um. Anyway, where the hell was I? Since David did that basket case movie with the entire head covered, could have done. Yeah, that's true. Could have done Dawn 2004, but perhaps he wanted to do something less derivative or not a remake. I know he was living in New York at the time, and I mean I forget what he was doing. He was working for the government, Social Security office or something like that on 9/11, and he was like right there near where the buildings came down, if I remember correctly. Um, so yeah, I just think that David had moved on from acting at that time. I don't think he really wanted to do anything film or TV or screen wise or anything like that. Um, but so yeah, maybe that had something to do with it, where he was just like, yeah, I just don't want anything. And you guys do what you want, but I'm just cool. But I mean, he was doing conventions at the time, so I don't know. Larry says, "I don't like Flesh Eater," putting it lightly. Yeah, I think we've had that conversation before. Um, yeah, like I said, and yeah, like, we've had this conversation before, Larry. Like I like some cheesy, corny, fucking movies, especially when they're like just bad B zombie movies or something like that. And that's definitely what this is. But like I said, the effects work is very impressive on this. I mean, that's the true star of this movie to me. But the movie itself, I mean, it really makes no sense, and it's just kind of out there. Um, but I respect it. I respect it. See, Flesh Eater's one that I can totally understand why somebody wouldn't like it. That's not one that I'm just like, really? Like, what are you not seeing? It's genius. Um, since saying Flesh Eater is on YouTube, decent transfer. It's amusing, but it cost him an appearance in 1990 since they told him not to make it. Yeah, that's true. He tells that story in the behind the scenes featurette on this thing, where he took a like a promo picture of him in the costume and the makeup and everything, and he sent it to Russo and Romero, and both of them sent him. I guess their lawyers sent him letters telling him not to do it, and he did it anyway. So yeah, I guess that is. Guess that would kind of. Which I wonder what their relationship was like. I guess they made amends years later, and they had really no hard feelings about that. I guess. Um, because I remember meeting Bill Heinzman at Texas Frightmare Week in 2008, and I remember seeing him and George kind of cutting up and talking and stuff. So I'm sure there was no real hard feelings there between the two, but at that time they'd all splintered off into their own directions, and I've always felt like there was some, maybe some hard feelings between Russo and Romero at times, and Romero and Heinzman at times, maybe. But I think as you should when you get older, you should just kind of look and say, yeah, fucking bygones. Like, this is stupid. Like, what are we fighting for? Like, bygones. Water under the bridge. That's the way it's got to be, man. Robert likes Flesh Eater. There you go. Since then, it's pretty bad. Horrible actors, and Heinzman is hamming it up. They murder children in the movie too. Yeah, the little girl that Heinzman kills is actually Heidi Heinzman, his daughter at the time. So she was used to it. It didn't traumatize her. She grew up with it. So she's cool. Um, Alex and the characters in Flesh Eater were, I'm afraid to say, cowards, and they didn't know how to kill the zombies. But I still loved it and loved the way that they were portrayed. Loved the plot, loved the music. There you go. Sonic Al's a big Flesh Eater fan. Uh, yeah, like I said, man, I enjoyed it. Like I didn't think it was great or anything, but I mean it's fun. It's a fun little gory. It's kind of like a I don't know. It's basically just an '80s slasher with zombies in it, I guess. But um, Robert saying, when will your appreciation come to the last trilogy of George's Dead movies? I'm sure more and more over the years, I will appreciate them more and more. It's just they're just there's just something missing. Like I appreciate them, but there's something like when I was saying earlier about the family atmosphere, and and I know George was working in Canada at the time. I was kind of working with the same crew of people at the time, same producer. So it was kind of the same thing that he had going on in Pittsburgh. But for me, like Pittsburgh was just synonymous with George, and George was synonymous with Pittsburgh. So when George kind of left Pittsburgh, and like I said, I love Bruiser, but those last four movies just feel like a different era of George that I appreciate. I'm a big fan of Bruiser. I like Land of the Dead. Diary, I think, is flawed, but it has a lot of great ideas. There's a lot of great ideas to Diary of the Dead. Survival, I think Survival's one that's going to take a little longer to grow on me to fully appreciate. But I mean, shit, as we're seeing now, I mean, Survival's pretty much the Hatfield McCoys. It's like, warring tribes, like warring ideology. And I mean, we're, you know, that's pretty fucking spot on for today too. So, um, but yeah, like what the movies are about, I think are fine, but I just think some of the execution and it's missing some of that magic that George had in Pittsburgh, in my opinion. Um, Larry says, I know, and I'm friendly with so many people in Flesh Eater, yet I still don't like it. That's fine. Like, that's the thing too. It's like, if you're friends with an artist, the best thing you can do for them is to tell them the truth. Tell them your real opinion, because if you're really friends with somebody and um you treasure their opinion, you respect their opinion, you want their real opinion on what you're doing, because like I've been in that situation before, like when I'm playing in bands or making music or making movies or something. Like I want to show it to my friends, and I tell them all the time, like, tell me the truth. Like, just be real. Like, if you don't like it, tell me why. And I may disagree, or I may say, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, I could change it. I could do something different here. Even with a channel, like if there's something you guys, which is, a topic that I wanted to kind of touch on a little bit tonight, is just kind of see like what can I do going into 2025? Like, well, what kind of content would you guys want to see more of? What do you guys what are you guys not a fan of? What would you guys want to see more of? Like that type of thing. And I think when you have like when you're really friendly with people, like, just tell them like, hey, it's not my thing. And it's like, okay, and this is why. And if unless they're assholes, unless they're actual just huge dickheads, then they'll just be like, oh, that's cool, man. Like, I appreciate that. Thanks. I'll take that into consideration. But again, egos can play a part. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. It's like I try to keep my ego at bay, just because I hop on here and talk about Romero and shit. And I try not to get too far ahead of myself, but that's why I'm putting it out to you guys in 2025 next year. What do you guys want to see more of? What do you want more from me? What do you want from the channel? Because a lot of the times I just kind of go with the flow. I kind of do it. I like what I'm in the mood to do at the time. And but then sometimes, I mean, that's a big part of why I haven't streamed in the past couple of weeks, is I've just kind of just been, if not uninspired, but just kind of like, I don't know. I don't really know what to do right now. Like I have some ideas, but they're kind of things that I want to do on the horizon. But at the time, like I just kind of do shit like this, where I just come on here and just chat and just see what's going on out there with you guys. So yeah, let me know. What are you guys fans of? What do you guys want to see more of? I want to be, look, 2025, I better be fucking viral at some point. I'm inching closer to 2,000 subscribers. That shit better be up to like 20,000 by next year. I want to be the male version of Hawk Tua. I want to be the Romero version of Hawk Tua. By God, I got to come up with some like slogan or something that'll get me famous. Damn it! I don't know if that'll happen. Talking about Romero, I don't know if that's very mainstream, but fuck it. I'll do Hawk Tua. And I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But yeah, what do you guys want to see more of? What kind of streams do you like and enjoy the most? Um, uh, Alex, I'm a dear friend. While Bill Lasco plays the sheriff at the end of Flesh Eater, that's true. Bill Lasco has a pretty sizable little role in at the end of Flesh Eater too, and he's not bad in it. I'll say that. Uncle Bill, what's going on, man? Uncle Bill's in the house. I'll be doing a roundtable discussion over on Grande's channel, Grande's Graveyard, coming up on the 19th with Uncle Bill and Matt Landrum. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Um, Uncle Bill saying, I'm getting tired of defending Dawn all of a sudden. It has to be a change in the attention or culture. It was always just kind of a known fact. Dawn was a classic until like last year. Yeah, I think it's also too. I think it's just one of those movies that like has been talked about to the point where like it's kind of cool to be, oh yeah, it's whatever. Um, I think there's certain mindsets from people that if something's overly analyzed and overly talked about, which I'm fucking guilty of as shit, no, no doubt about it. Um, but I think if it's one of those movies that's just like constantly universally praised for years and years and years and years, at some point there's going to be somebody that pokes back and says, because I mean, especially in this age of social media and YouTube and all this stuff, where everybody's got to have an opinion and got to make a comment about something, they got to have a stand on something. Um, that's where the whole like I always joke when I'm in the chats for Dead Pit and stuff. Like I always joke like, oh, such and such is um a misunderstood classic, because that's the thing that you always hear from people these days is like, oh, such and such, like movies that have been universally despised for years and years and years and years are all of a sudden misunderstood classics because Joe Schmo said it on his YouTube channel. And now everybody's picking it up, and I think there's some of that. I think there's some of that. Um, now, I'm not saying that like everybody's just bullshitting and everybody loves Dawn of the Dead and they're just saying that they don't sound cool. That's not what I'm saying at all. Because definitely there are definitely some people out there that just are not. It's just not their thing, and that's totally fine. Like I can totally understand why Dawn's not Dirk's thing. Um, uh, because like if I know I'm kind of familiar with what Dirk's tastes are and what he kind of likes and what his movies in his movies what he likes in his movies. So what I'm trying to say. And Dawn is definitely something different than that. Um, so I totally get that, but I do think there's something to people just kind of jumping on the bandwagon of saying, "Oh, this movie's not that great." Actually, if you look at it this way, it's not that great. And I also think it also comes back, and I've mentioned this before. Shopping malls are dying in the U.S. When we saw Dawn of the Dead for the first time, like when Uncle Bill saw Dawn, like when I saw Dawn, most of us in this room, when we saw Dawn of the Dead for the first time, it was like right at the height of mall culture, 80s, 90s. Like when I was a kid, like the mall was the place to go. Like if I want to go to the mall, like that's where I want to hang out. Now we're just not in. That's just not the thing anymore. Like there's still malls, but a lot of malls are dying. A lot of malls are closing. But uh, but for the most part, like malls are just not a big part of our lives anymore. And Uncle Bill touched on this on a video here recently that he did on Dead Pit, where he's talking about just our urge to consume. It's like Dawn of the Dead. Our urge to consume. We used to have to travel to a mall and walk in the doors and go to stores and pick things out physically. Now we can just go online and it's just like instant consumption. Like we can just buy what we want instantly, which like we were talking about earlier, Black Friday. It's like now you can just go to a website and get it instantly and it'll be mailed to you tomorrow. It'll be on your doorstep tomorrow fucking morning. Like if I order something tonight, I can have it mailed to me and on my doorstep by the time I wake up tomorrow. And that's just like, and as a society that loves to consume, as George points out in Dawn of the Dead, um, as a society that loves to consume, like that's just like giving a crackhead, doubling the rock count or something. I don't know, whatever the fuck. When they're lighting the pipe, it's like, okay, put another one in there, baby. Let's jack this up to 10. So yeah, I don't know. I think that has something to do with it too. I just don't think that especially like a newer generation. Like, because like I said, when I saw Dawn in the theater a couple of years ago when it did the 3D run, I remember sitting in the theater watching, and a guy and he had his son. His son was probably 10, 11 years old, watching the movie. And as we were leaving, his son, the one thing that stood out to me, his son was like, "That was really cool, Dad." He's like, "Yeah, that was pretty cool." And his son was like, "That was the coolest mall I have ever seen. Why don't we have a mall like that?" And it dawned on me. I was just like, this kid has never seen a real shopping mall. I mean, I'm sure he's been to some malls, but they've all probably been like half closed, half shuttered, fucking, barely anybody in there. Like that's what a lot of malls are nowadays. Um, so for him, it was like the first time maybe that this kid was ever seeing like a shopping mall the way that we remember it. Um, so I think maybe the fact that we don't have the love for the shopping mall that we used to have, maybe that plays a role in it. So I know when I first saw Dawn of the Dead, like the shopping mall was the coolest place in the world, and the fact that they were setting a zombie movie in a shopping mall was the pinnacle for me. I was just like, this is everything I want in a movie. But for kids now, maybe that's not the case. I don't know. But anyway, since that Dawn feels like a documentary, very grounded, other than the undead, appropriate since they made docs and such. Cinema verite. Um, yeah, that's a good point. Good way to put it. Dawn definitely has a very different look than a lot of movies, just because it's low budget and just the way it was shot. Like especially for horror movies, it's such a bright movie. It's in a shopping mall. Everything's super lit and super bright, and so I don't know. So we got some more Flesh Eater. Oh yeah, talking about the score for Flesh Eater is not bad. Erica Portnoy. I like her stuff a whole lot more than Paul McCullough's stuff. Alex. I just don't like Paul McCullough's music at all. I've come to that conclusion. Like anything I ever hear him score, I'm just like, ugh. Like even Night 90. Again, Night 90 is just one of my like, no, could have done so much better than what they did there. Uncle Bill said I used to burn Goblin scores and just drive around the car high as hell, imagining it was the apocalypse. That's hilarious. God, I was dumb. I do that too, man. I do that too. Anytime I'm at, like, I remember when being younger, like going to the local shopping mall and putting on the Dawn score and just walking around the mall. And I finally got to do that at the actual Monroeville Mall, and it was just like the culmination of my life at the time. But yeah, dude, I used to do shit like that all the time too. Uh, um, shit, lost my place. Hang on a second, guys. Hey, here's the most badass name in the history of YouTube. Holy Parish of Doom. Hell yeah. I wonder where you've been, man. I remember that name for sure from a couple of months ago. I think Matt was asking about you. Landrum was asking about. It was like, whatever happened to that Holy Parish of Doom guy? That was the coolest name in the fucking world. What's up, man? Good to see you. Night 90. I'm not much of a fan of Romero's last trilogy. I'd have to go with Diary as my favorite among those. Nothing against any of them, they just didn't grab me. Yeah, I mean, I think that's common. That's common. But yeah, night 90 is I don't know, man. I like Land. I like Land quite a bit. I do. I don't know. It's not great, but I do think there's a flavor to it. There's something there. Like there's I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's not great. Some of the dialogue's iffy. I don't know about some of the casting choices, but like again, the idea, the concept of to Land, I think is really really smart, really interesting. And I think it kind of like I remember Ebert and Roper, their review of Land of the Dead was I believe Roger Ebert gave it a thumbs up, Roper gave it a thumbs down, but Roper said he gave it the thumbs down because, and I used to watch this shit all the time, guys. Roper gave it a thumbs down because he said that he wanted to see more of Fiddler's Green. He was more interested in the story of that than everything else going out around it. And I kind of agree with him. I would love to have seen more of Fiddler's Green, like the inside of it and like what the power structure is there and all that. But yeah, like I said, there's some interesting concepts to Land that I enjoy. What can I say? And I have sentimental value to it because it was the first Romero film that I saw in a theater, and it was one of the biggest moments of my life at the time. I was like, the new Romero zombie movie is here. Let's go. and it was a first date. And I was just like, "Oh, we're going to see Land of the Dead for our first date." And she was like, "All right, I guess." Um, there you go. Since Galen was going to play the sister of Alexis Dubin, Don Madman crossover, that could be possible. Um, Holy Parish Doom saying children shouldn't play with dead things is fun. Yeah, that's another one I haven't watched in a long time, but I remember getting that Anchor Bay VHS. They had it at Kroger. It was like $5, and I'd never heard of it. I was just like, it sounds like a zombie movie. I'll take it on and watch it. And ended up really, really liking it. Although the VHS, it was really, really dark. It was another one of those situations where I'm sure seeing it in high def or 4K or whatever's out there now, it would probably um, take my appreciation and love for that movie up another notch. Um, Larry sent us album 3 times in Raleigh, North Carolina. Dan Lowry and I would go to the back door of the venue and wait by their bus to get things signed if they didn't offer a VIP meet and greet. Um, Signed everything. Yeah, we saw their bus. Their bus was out there, and I thought about that, but I was just like, I don't want to be that guy. I'm glad you were that guy, Larry. You and Dan were that guy, um, but I don't know, man. I've never been one to kind of elbow. I regret this sometimes, but I've never been one to just kind of elbow my way into. Oh, I want to meet so and so, so I'm gonna, you know, track them down at the airport or anything like that. So I always try to respect their privacy and stuff. And if Claudio wasn't feeling meeting the fans that night, like I'd rather just be like, okay, that's cool. At least he signed it, than actually meet him and him being in like kind of a shitty mood. Because there was a point in the concert. I'll say this: there was a point in the concert where I could tell Claudio was getting kind of pissed off, getting a little agitated. So halfway through the show, um, light the there was a bright light that just came on in the middle of nowhere, and just like all the stage lighting and stuff disappeared, and it was just like this bright light, like just was just shining down on the band while they were playing, and it was just you couldn't see the screen or anything that was going on. And Claudia was just looking at the light guy, like what the fuck's going on? And they were playing the 3 songs from the Roller album. They were playing Roller, Aquaman, and Goblin at the time. So it was like a little, but they were playing these songs, and I was like really ready to get into that. And then this bright ass light was shining down, like God from heaven was shining down on the stage. And through the whole time, like you could tell Claudio just was kind of getting a little more and more agitated as it went on because they could not get this bright light off of the stage. And he just kept looking at the light guy as he was playing, just kind of like just pointing every now and then to be like, can we get this shit turned off? So I don't know if he felt like he had a rough night, or because I know how I am. Like when I do a stream or something, and the audio is messed up or something doesn't go quite as planned. Like when I'm done, I'm just like fuck. I'm just like I'm just angry with myself. And I don't know if Clyde was like, I don't want to go bother him. If he was like, yeah, I'll sign the shit, but I don't really feel like talking to fans or whatever. I'll respect that, and I'd rather just have that than have a bad experience with Claudio Simonetti. Um, but that's just me. Well, that's just me. Alex and I saw Goblin at Cat's Cradle on December 14th, 2013 in Carborough, North Carolina with Larry. Axel Kent. Okay, Eric Kent, his wife, and my dear mom. They rock. Got to meet Max Morante and the rest of Goblins. Talk with them. That's awesome. Yeah, Eric Kent from WGON Radio. Axelish. Okay, Larry. It was great. Larry said it was all original members except Simonetti. I would love to see that just because it was the original like rhythm section and stuff. I think that would kind of be the closest. Although to me, like Simonetti is kind of the backbone of that band when it comes to their horror stuff. Because even when they broke up in the '80s and Simonetti went on to do the scores for like Phenomena, Opera, The Church, and all the stuff. He'd go on Demons. All that stuff is so fucking good, and it's just great horror soundtrack music. And he's still like working on horror scores and stuff, and it's still fucking good. Um, but to me, like that original Goblin flavor, that Goblin sound, I think it does rest somewhat in that rhythm section, bass and drums, and like I said, the Demonia stuff is more like metal, more driving sounding, as opposed to the prog sounding stuff that you would get with the original lineup. So yeah, I would love to see that iteration of Goblin too, at some point. But we shall see if they ever tour around again anytime soon. Let's see. Da-da-da-da. Since Romero's worst was still way better than Dawn 2004. Okay, I'll stop. Hey, you might get into some fights over that one because people do enjoy that movie, and I'm not gonna flaw it. Like, I'm not gonna dig on anybody that likes to Dawn 2004. Um, it's not a terrible movie, but it's not for me. Um, but yeah, I believe that too. I think a lot of George's later stuff gets unfairly criticized because it's George, which you can't say like, oh, George is a fucking legend and a great filmmaker, and then try to say, oh, well, this movie's good, but you're only saying it's bad because it's George and it's not as good as George's other stuff. It's just like that kind of comes with the territory. You can't really do anything about it. But I do think if you compare some of those later zombie movies like Survival, Diary, if you compare those to a lot of the other stuff that's kind of in that same range, like budget wise, at that time, like they're fucking masterpieces compared to some of the shit that was coming out around that time. Um, like especially a lot of the directive DVD zombie stuff that we were seeing, like but because it's George, we have a higher expectation, rightfully so. Um, but it is what it is. Like I said, it comes with the territory. You can't make the greatest fucking movie of all time and then say, "Hey, why are you judging me so harshly?" It's like, well, we've already seen what you can do. We've seen what you can do. You got to live up to that standard now. Fair or unfair, that's just the way it goes. Robert Stanislaw Flesh Eater on HBO as a young person, so I really like that movie now. I played on HBO. That's surprising. Robert sent a bit of Diary of the Dead Love and 1990 Love. Hell yeah. Yeah, Diary, I really truly believe Diary is one that I think people may come around on a little more over time. Just maybe. Since in true, the sick fanboy thing made Lucas think those horrible Star Wars prequels were going to be good based on feedback that wasn't honest. Yeah, I'm not a Star Wars guy. I just never like. I appreciate the first like three. I saw them and I was just like, yeah, they're good movies, but they didn't change my life or anything. But I think those are the only ones I've ever seen of those. So that's not in my wheelhouse. Larry said, I have so much material and ideas for a show. I really need to do one. I'm just too busy to do it. Dude, get off your ass. Get off your ass and do it. Well, hey man, anytime you want to come on, if you have any ideas or anything you want to do, man, let me know. You're always welcome, my brother. My brother. Sound like Hulk Hogan for a second. You're always welcome, my brother. I got the Hogan stash going on, so maybe that'll work. Here's an idea. Uncle Bill says, put out a crypto coin of Romero and then steal all of our money. I think I might. That's a good idea. Dead coin. Bitcoin. Get it? Get it? Since then, you need a zombie themed OnlyFans channel of yourself to really break through. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. You guys do not want to see an OnlyFans of me. Trust me. Uncle Bill saying Congo all of a sudden was a classic. Yeah, and even Congo, like they just put that on Vinegar Syndrome. I think just put out Congo or something like that, and all of a sudden there's this love and support of Congo. All of a sudden, Congo was one of those movies I remember going to see when I was a kid, like a little kid, 95 when that movie came out. I was probably 6 at the time. And when you're 6 years old, you go to the movies to see anything, you're gonna fucking love it. Like anything you see at the movies is awesome. Like when you're a little kid. And even when I was 6 and after we left Congo, I was just like, Daddy, I don't think I like that movie. Like that kind of sucked. My dad was like, yeah, that wasn't very good, was it? So yeah, I don't understand that one at all. Holy Parish of Doom saying my wife and I are going to put the Dawn disc when we crash here pretty soon. One of those flicks that never wears out. Hell yeah, man. Again, it's like Will pointed, like Will made this comment at the Days of the Dead Atlanta for the Galen and Scotty panel. He's like, it's comfort food for me. Like I can put that movie on and I'll be asleep in 5 minutes because it's just comforting. It's just, and I fully understand that. Like that's how I used to go to bed every night. I'd put on dawn or day, night, especially with the commentary tracks. Like I think that's how a lot of this information got soaked into my brain over the years because I'd go to sleep at night with commentary tracks on, and I'd just be taking all that information in. as I slept through the night. Um, Mausoleum malls. Yeah, that's it. That's a good way to put it. But yeah, there's a lot of those now. It's sad. It's unfortunate. Uncle Bill said, I get most of the arguments that are subjective, but the one I'll never understand is that Dawn is boring. Yeah, I just think the exact opposite to me. It's like an action nonstop. Oh well, yeah. To me too. I mean, like my 4-year-old likes Dawn. I'm at a point now where my 4-year-old wants to watch Dawn of the Dead all the time. Like she loves Chucky and all that shit. But one day she pointed at my poster and said, "Daddy, I want to watch zombies." And I was like, "All right." So I put on Dawn. We watched it, and ever since then, she wants to play zombies. She likes zombies. She wants to watch it all the time. She calls it zombie shopping. That's what she wants to watch. She's like, "Daddy, I want to watch zombie shopping." I'm like, "All right, let's watch it." So I like my 4-year-old is entertained by it. So I don't know. Maybe we just have the minds of 4-year-olds, Uncle Bill. I don't know. Um, but yeah, zombie shopping. I really loved it. Since yeah, the 1990 work print had a great hodgepodge soundtrack. Yeah, I've said that. I prefer the just a little mix of random bits of music that was it Dubinsky or Gornick? I think it was Dubinsky, wasn't it? That edited that work print together. Yeah, I prefer that over Paul McCullough's any day. Robert says, I'm older than you. I saw 1990 as a kid, and I love his score. All right, there you go. I mean, there's some good parts of the score for sure. Like, there's some of the more like moody undertone or underscored stuff I kind of dig. But like the opening scene when they're driving to the cemetery, and it's just the it just sounds very aged, and I don't. It just doesn't hit the way that it should. I don't know, for a car driving into the cemetery. Where it's like in the original Night of the Living Dead, it's that great fucking creepy. Ooh, it's like at that weird, but in the remake, it's just like bow, bow. And it's like what? Anyway, that's my mouth noise music for the night. You guys are welcome for that one. Matt saying to Uncle Bill, a little downtime in the middle after they've taken them all before the before the bikers show up, but it adds to the story arc and doesn't bog it down. Not boring. Don't understand that either. I've heard that too. Like I understand, like if somebody watches the extended cut and they got that second shopping scene where they're all kind of depressed and they're just it's all the luster is kind of worn off. I can understand like maybe that goes on a little longer, but the scenes where they're shopping and shit, like that was like my fantasy come true when I was a kid, just to have a entire shopping mall to myself and just to have anything and everything that I've ever wanted at my fingertips. So yeah, I don't get that one either. Madman Mars. Maybe that's one we'll do a watch along of sometime is Madman, because that's one that I watched once and I was just like, I don't know, ain't for me. But maybe I'll give it another watch because it's got the great Galen Ross in it, the great Alexis Dubin, by God. Matt's very happy to see Holy Parish Doom back. Coolest fucking YouTube handle ever. Be cooler if you could invert those crosses, though. There's an idea. You can figure that out. Let's see. Since the like good music, highs and lows, change tempo and crescendo again. Absolutely. Dawn flows very well unless you are a modern youth. Hey, I mean, like I said, my 4-year-old loves it. My 4-year-old gets it. So I don't know. She even the stuff we're talking about, she likes watching them shop. She's 4, but she knows that shopping is fun. She loves shopping. Holy Parish Doom said, I've run a doom metal channel for many years, hence the moniker and crucifixes. Hell yeah. There you go. Check out his channel if you're into doom metal at all. Holy Parish Doom. I think Matt's probably into some doom metal a little bit. See, Matt and his weird what does your son say? You're the weird goth parents that want to visit cemeteries and shit all the time. But yeah, man, that's awesome. So check it out, Holy Parish Doom. If you're into doom metal, check that out. Bill saying truth. Like there's a small section where they are just messing around after they take them all, but I always love that part too because you get to see the characters just interacting. Yeah, and that goes a long way to like character development and seeing the relationship of the characters build and all that, which is something you didn't get in the remake, like because the mall is pretty much secured when they get there and they're just kind of there. There's no real I mean, I guess there's like a dinner scene or something. Something very. It's like just picking it off a tree. It's like that episode of South Park where the manatees or whatever are like choosing the episodes, or I forget what it was. They were just they were a think tank. It was a think tank, and the manatees would just pull a ball out of the water, and that's what they would go with. They were like, okay, a dinner scene in a shopping mall. Okay, we'll go with it, I guess. But there's a dinner scene in fucking the original, so I don't know. It's but it's just a little different. Um, be honest, you just want a reunion from them to play ball. I mean, fuck, I'd take it. Like, I'd go see that. See the original Goblin lineup play Volo. Fucking hell yeah. I guess without Claudio. But shit, I'd take it. I'll do it. Yeah, I agree with this too. Dono, for enjoy the opener. Forgettable beyond that. I agree. The opening like 15 minutes of that are pretty fucking awesome. But it's like when they get through the Johnny Cash and the opening credits and shit. It's like then they're just like, okay, now we got to set this in a mall for no real reason. It's just Dawn of the Dead and takes place in a mall, so they're just magically at a mall all of a sudden. So yeah, then it kind of falls off a little bit there for me, but um, there you go, Bubcoin. Go with that one, Bubcoin. Grande, what's going on, man? Grande's Graveyard is in the house. Like I said, it'll be the 19th, not this upcoming Thursday, but the following Thursday. I'll be on Grande's channel, Grande's Graveyard, with Uncle Bill, Matt Landrum, for a little roundtable discussion. Should be really fun. Really looking forward to that one. Exactly your work in your 20s isn't going to be the same quality when you're in your 60s. It happens to every director. The shit Wes Craven made towards the end was terrible. My Soul to Take was so bad. Yeah, I agree. And again, and I know I've heard the criticism of people say like George's latter work is old man yelling at a cloud, like angry old man shit. It's like, oh, these damn kids and their social media and these damn kids and this. And it's like, yeah, it's true. But I mean, you get that way when you age. Like the shit, like the music or the films or whatever that I would do in the 20s, like in my 20s, would be like what I would do now is completely different than what I would have done then. And it has to be. I mean, you there's no other way. You have to grow as an artist. And yeah, maybe when you get a little older, you get a little out of touch with what's cool and what's hip and what's acceptable. And I think George got to that point too, where a lot of his stuff, like he would insert a lot of his comedy and his sense of humor into stuff, maybe a little too much at times later on, and it just didn't play as well to a modern audience, especially like Survival of the Dead and some of the slapstick, goofy shit that's in that. Um, I just don't think it played well for modern eyes. And and again, it's also like you're also comparing it to great shit that they've done in the past, like their classics, like John Carpenter. It's like it's like this. It's the guy that made Halloween, which is great for him because it's he made his entire career off being the guy that made Halloween. He got him work for the rest of his career. George Romero built a career off being the zombie guy, the Night of the Living Dead guy. Wes Craven built an entire career off of Nightmare on Elm Street and I guess Scream. He came back with Scream, but at the same time, it's like when you do something else outside of that, whether it's good, bad, whatever, it's always going to be judged up against you know uh, their big hit, their big whatever. And I think that was the thing with George and his final three zombie films is that they were always compared to his original trilogy, and that's just it's hard to do. And it's not going to compare. Um, which I'm guilty of that as well, especially at the time when I first saw him. Um, I agree with this. Holy Parachute Doom. Big mistake taking the Amish character out so quickly in Diary. I fully fucking agree with that. And that's a point that I've never heard anybody make, and one I wholeheartedly agree with. And I've always thought that because the character Samuel, I think was his name in the movies, he holds up the sign and he's like, hi, I'm Samuel. That got a fucking chuckle in the theater because I saw Diary in the theater. It was Alamo Drafthouse in Dallas. Saw it in the theater, and there were people in there. And of all things in that movie that I remember about the theater experience was that movie got a fucking laugh, or that scene got a laugh when he blows up the fucking zombies and he holds up the sign because he can't talk. He's like, "Hi, I'm Samuel," and it's like, holy shit, that's a cool ass character. He's the coolest fucking character in that whole movie because the rest of those characters are pretty fucking like, I just get rid of them. Like you're wanting them to die. Like just, ugh. Um, But like Samuel, like the Amish guy, is like the coolest part of that whole movie. Like, yeah, he should have stuck around longer. They killed him off way too soon. Like they should have built the whole fucking movie around that guy. Um, but yeah, I agree. That's funny as hell that you bring that up because I've always thought that. Um, Uncle Bill saying the version of Goblin around the time of Dawn and Suspiria had an amazing rhythm section, outstanding bass player and drummer. No idea who they were, but they could play. Yeah. Well, I put up the thing when we did a couple weeks ago when we did the Goblin retrospective, the graph or the chart of all the members of Goblin throughout the years, and it's like 20 names, and it's just like, okay, they were here, 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 and it's just like, holy shit, like a lot of people were in and out of Goblin over the years. Um, Pig Natalia, the bassist, was nimble and super smooth, so good, true power group. Yeah, they really were. That's a good way to put it. Alex and I told Max Morante when I saw Goblin in concert, all my info. I had the original Goblin lineup along with their former lead singers, Clive Haynes, yep, Tony Tartarini, and Mauro Lucini. Um, very, very cool. Um, no worries, Rick. Had some dinner dishes to clean up after dinner. I was listening in the kitchen. No worries, man. I do the same thing too. I listen to like a lot of live streams. Like a lot of the times, like the other night, I was listening to Grande. He did one. I think it was the Bava Black Friday special or whatever, and which is a fucking brilliant idea because that's like the long lost Mario Bava flick, Black Friday. And I was just listening to it. I went through and rearranged my entire Blu-ray and DVD, everything. Like I rearranged my entire collection over there, and that took me like hours and hours and hours. And I was just listening in the background, fucking. So I'd take a break every now and then and check and be like, "Oh man, you know." So yeah, I totally get it. It's good. I totally encourage that too. Because I mean, hey, you're just gonna be sitting here staring at my fucking head for however long. So just put it on the background and go, go do something. Go be productive. I'm always a big proponent of being productive. Um, Uncle Bill saying that should be the alternate title of Don's Zombie Shop, and hell yeah, I think that's the Italian, or no, it wouldn't be the Italian. I guess it'd be like the Venezuelan title of Dawn of the Dead, Zombie Shopping. But hey, that's the 4-year-old title for it. She totally understands what's going on. Zombies are shopping. I have teacher to say the announcement. Attention, all shoppers. Yeah, I need to use that for something for the store shop.alpharomero.store for anybody out there wanting to check it out. Maybe purchase a T-shirt. Purchaser, for the Romero fan in your life, it's a perfect spot to get a very unique, I guess was what we'll call them, unique design on a T-shirt. Uh, Pittsburgh band Zombie performed as the opening act for Goblin when I saw them in concert. Yeah, I think Paul's a big fan of that band. That's the same band. It's the band. It's the same Zombie that I'm thinking of. I've heard them before. They're pretty fucking badass. Um, Rick says, it was cool as a kid when you enjoyed all the zombie movie stuff, but when you get your young kids to dig it as well, and it becomes a family thing, that is icing on the cake. Hell yeah, that's true. Um, but the thing is, she likes to play zombies. She's like, I want to play zombies. I'm a zombie. And so she'll come up to you. And of course, she remembers this because I know what the fuck she's doing because it's from Dawn of the Dead and she's seen it. So the scene where the zombies in the mall, they tear Tasso's stomach open, they tear the torso open. That's what she does. She'll come up to me and dig her little fucking grimy fingers into my stomach and just start ripping. She's just like, I'm a zombie. And I'm just like, it fucking hurts. Don't do that. And then every now and then she'll get me on the shoulder, like Tommy Lafitte or something. So she'll just come bite you. But I don't know. That's fucking. She's wild. She's insane. You guys heard her earlier screaming her head off downstairs. Hopefully she's asleep by now. It's almost 11 o'clock here. But yeah, totally agree. Since that 990 had mini bad, dated, Rompler sounds in it, stuck in time period, not played well. Yeah, like I said, Paul McCullough, I respect him. He worked, Late Image guys for years. He wrote the original screenplay for the Crazies, the Mad People. Dude contributed a lot over the years and did some great work, but I've just never been a big fan of his music scores. Just never have on any of the stuff he's ever ever worked on. Syntheted Madman made him chuckle too. Yeah, it's just that weird hot tub scene at the beginning with Galen. It's just kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this. It's a little weird. Uncle Bill said the one thing about 990 that I just can't condone is that horrible Johnny dummy that hits the tombstone. Shit looks awful. I've heard you say that, and that's one of those things that like I remember seeing when I was a kid, like when I first saw the movie and thought was like really awesome. Like, oh shit, how did they do that? But when you watch it again when you're older, and especially now with the invention of like high def and shit, and you can you can really see the dummy aspect of it. But man, when you're younger and you see that shit, it's like that's pretty effective. But yeah, it is a little comical the way that it just the bounce that it gets, I guess. Granted says Madman was shot like an hour for me, and I always had a blast with it. I didn't know that. The entire movie is essentially people looking for other people. And oh my god, the hot tub scene. Don't need words to know. There you go. The infamous hot tub scene. Since that by youth, I meant millennials, Zoomers with short attention spans. Your daughter's very special. That's what I try to tell people. She's very special. She's not crazy, I swear. She's just different. Very self-assured. Just say that. Holy Parish Doomsday Madman is not great shakes. Not great shakes, but his nostalgic 80s slasher in the woods. Yeah, and I think was Madman 1982 if I remember correctly. I think Madman was 80. So we'll throw that into the pile for 1980. It's up to you. That song kills me every time. It's out there. It's a little weird. A little factoid there from Sonic Al. John O. the late Willie Butchie George from Dawn of the Dead appeared as the biker at the end of Night of the Living Dead 990. Night of the Living Dead 990. It's when I see Night of the Living Dead 90, I just want to say 990. So we'll just call it that. 990 remake at the picnic party scene. I didn't know that actually. Did not know that. Butchie, I think, didn't he pass away last year? I believe. Was it 2023 when Butchie passed away? Never got to meet him. I know he did some conventions, didn't he? Didn't Butchie do some shows back in the day? Since Sam Raimi's Evil Dead knocked it out of the park, same with Scorsese's Mean Streets. Some directors just have it early on, but may lose it later on. Yeah, I agree with that. I also think like a lot of these directors, when they work independently and they kind of do their own thing, I think a lot of these directors get attracted to the light of Hollywood, and they go to Hollywood, and Hollywood completely, ruins them and kills their love for film, and then they just kind of disappear. I mean, there's so many filmmakers I can think of that started out with like a small film that was great, and then they go to Hollywood, make a big budget movie, it's a bomb, and then they just disappear. It almost happened to Kevin Smith. I mean, we were talking about Kevin Smith earlier with Mallrats. I mean, Mallrats was such a big bomb at the time. Like they thought, like, oh, Kevin Smith, one hit wonder, goodbye. Like he'll never come back. But like George, it's like when you have a failure and you come back. One second. Drop my pen. When you come back with something else, it's like you if you're determined to continue to work and make your films and tell your stories, like it's hard for anybody to keep you down. And that's kind of the inspirational aspect. Kevin Smith and George Romero and guys like that I've always respected and always admired. Is that just even if it's not good, at least they're still making their movies. They're telling their stories. They're not just a cog in the wheel in Hollywood. Which George never wanted to be, and I don't think Kevin Smith could ever be, even though I feel like he wanted to be at times. But anyway, it's not Kevin Smith hour, but fully agree there, Seth. Christ asking how the weather is up north, Rick. He's not. He didn't say that he's up north. He's going north. He's heading north. He's been heading north for months now. I don't know if he's gotten there yet, but I mean he's a llama, so I mean llamas don't travel too damn fast, so we don't know where he started and where he is at right now. He could be coming up from Mexico, so we don't know where the hell he's at right now. But Matt saying, gotta bounce, get some sleep, finish the rest of the morning. Good chatting. You have a great night. Well, I'm glad you got to hang out a little bit tonight, Matt. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the 19th, man. I'm looking forward to that roundtable with you, Grande, and UB. It's going to be a lot of fun over on the Grande's Graveyard channel. But I think I'm about caught up with everybody. Grant is saying, actually, I've been told by my buddy Will that I'm great background noise when he's cleaning the house. There you go. Hey, I mean, it's strive for something, I guess. I'm totally fine being somebody's background noise. I'll take it. Holy Parish of Doom says check out some Saint Vitus zombie tunes, Zombie Hunger 1984 and Walking Dead 1985. Okay, Saint Vitus zombie tunes. All right. Robert saying, what's going on in your future? Well, it's basically, I guess the main topic we'll talk about tonight is what's coming up for the rest of this month in December. We're at about the 2 hour mark, so I guess we'll go ahead and get into it. I get into the fucking comments and I just start rambling. You guys got to slow me down. I'm glad. Thank you, Robert, for bringing me back to the whole point of the fucking show tonight. But coming up this month, we're going to finish out the month strong. Like I mentioned, December 19th, going to be doing a roundtable discussion over on Grande's Graveyard. Go subscribe to Grande's channel. It's Grande's Graveyard on YouTube. December 19th is going to be a really fun roundtable show with me, Grande, Matt Landrum, and Uncle Bill from Dead Pit. Super excited about that one. That's going to be a whole lot of fun on the 19th. So check that out at Grande's Graveyard on the 19th. Check it out. And the following Saturday, this is we're going to have a couple of shows at the end of December to kind of blow out 2024 the way that we can. And on December 21st, 2024, I don't know what I'm saying. We all know what year it is, although we're moving into 25, so it could be confusing to some people, I guess. But December 21st, it's Saturday night. It's going to be the first edition of Romero Trivia. It's going to be Romero Trivia night here on the channel, December 21st, Saturday night. Working on the game, the aspect of there will be some prizes. Everybody gets to play. There will be some different prizes and different giveaways and stuff we're going to do that night. But it's going to be Romero Trivia night, December 21st. I'll go through what the prizes, how it's going to work, how the answers will get tallied up, all that fun stuff. We'll get into that. I'll probably do another stream here probably next weekend or something like that to kind of go over everything. What's up for stakes, what the stakes are, what's up for grabs, and what the rules are, how the game's going to be played. But yes, December 21st, Romero Trivia Night. It's just my way of giving back to you guys, giving you guys a chance to win some stuff. I have got some stuff around here that don't mind parting ways with, but yeah, it's just a way to all get together, have a little fun. Saturday night, Romero Trivia Night, December 21st. And then that following Saturday, following Christmas, December 28th, we're going to be doing the second Romero Fan Roundtable. So if any of you guys are interested in joining for our second Romero Fan Roundtable, let me know. Hit me up either in the comments, shoot me an email. My email is available on the YouTube channel. In the information, it's on there somewhere. Shoot me an email, shoot me a comment. If you're friends with me on Facebook, shoot me a message on Facebook. Let me know. I'll shoot you the link, and you can come right on, and we'll hang out and talk some Romero, talk whatever you guys want to talk about. Bring some topics, and we'll have a good time. So that's December 28th. I think it's a Saturday night as well. So remember, mark your calendars. December 19th, Grande's Graveyard, roundtable discussion with me, Grande, Uncle Bill, and Matt Landrum. December 21st, Romero Trivia Night, giveaway, cash prizes, all that good stuff. And just a chance to flex your muscle to see how well you know Romero and Romero's films. And then December 28th, the following Saturday, following Christmas, the second Romero Fan Roundtable. Hit me up. Let me know if you guys want to come on. You're more than welcome to. I'll send you the link. Hop on. We'll get on. We'll chat for however long. And that'll be, to me, that sounds like a fun way to end out 2024. To end the year, going into 2025. Coming up on the 2 years since I started this channel. like I said, a couple of years ago, it was probably about 3 years ago now. I kind of discovered Dead Pit Radio, Uncle Bill and Dead Pit Radio on YouTube. Kind of saw what they were doing, and just it was a lot of fun, just being in the chat and just interacting and all that. And I was just like, man, I kind of like to do something like that. And it's like, well, what would I do it on? Like, there's everybody does a horror channel. Everybody does. It's like, what would be my specialty? And it's like Romero. Like, I could do a Romero channel because I'm a huge fan of WGON Radio and the podcast that Matt Blasey and Eric Kent used to do. And they kind of stopped doing it. And it was like a void in my life. It was like, there's nobody talking Romero, and I want to talk Romero. Damn it! Like, I want to hear I at least want to hear somebody talk about Romero. Um, so I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. So I started this 2023, heading on 2 years now, going into 2025. And like I said earlier, what do you guys want to see more of in 2025? And OnlyFans, I can do it OnlyFans. What the hell? It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be good for anybody, but I'll do it if that's what you guys really want to do. Some ideas that I had in mind going into next year, because I definitely want to do more. I want to put out some more content. I want to kind of expand doing some more stuff. Being a little bit more active with the channel video wise. Like I said earlier, like the notifications about, like, I'm not going to blow you up. I'm not going to do everything every week because I just don't have the time to do as much content as I would like to do. But I would like to do some different ideas, maybe some videos. Like, I definitely need to do more like live, kind of like what Synth does, like with a Living Dead weekend, stuff like that. Doing some more live stuff on site, on location, as they say. But what else? I mean, what do you guys enjoy? Do you guys like the watch alongs? Do you guys want to see more just kind of deep dives? The what ifs? I definitely want to do some more what ifs because that was a fun stream a couple weeks ago, kind of going into what if OJ Simpson had starred in Dawn of the Dead. A lot of a lot of lanes we could go down on that one, but yeah, what would you guys like? Another thing I've also kind of tossed around in my head is kind of starting a Discord channel. The Dead Pit guys have a Discord channel, and it's just a cool spot for everybody, fans of the channel and guys to stay in touch and share things and kind of bullshit back and forth and kind of keep up with each other. And it's kind of it really does remind you of the old message board days back in the day, like on like Homepage of the Dead or something like that. So if that's something you guys would be interested in doing, if you guys, we could do that. But yeah, I just kind of want to put this out there for any of you guys listening, now in the chat. I'll check chat here in a second, but, or even after the fact, if you're listening to this after the fact, what would you guys like to see more of from the channel in 2025? To be honest, I mean, the thought of, maybe slowing down, doing less content, or maybe doing more, just posting more videos and stuff, and doing less streams, or doing more streams throughout the week. I don't know. I want to do more though. You know what I mean? Like I want to, but I'm just not sure. I don't want to oversaturate. I don't want people to get kind of sick of, sick of it. I think it's kind of cool that, once a week, let's all get together and just chat for a few hours. Another thing I'd love to do, speaking of in 2025, is get more people on the channels, get more people on the streams. And that's one thing I'm definitely planning on doing, is reaching out to more people, trying to get more people on here and some different conversations and stuff like that. So if any of you guys watching are interested in coming on and chatting, like I said, we got the roundtable coming up at the end of the month. Let me know. You're more than welcome to hop on and join in. Or if you, I'll even say this: if you have a topic of, like I know Larry was talking, if you have a topic of discussion or an idea for a show, always send it my way. Like if there's something you want to do, like I want this channel to kind of be a vessel for other fans like me. I want everybody to feel welcome. To kind of join in and because it's all for George, it's a celebration of George, and it's a celebration of Romero fandom, that's what I want it to be more than anything else. Like it's been fun, but it's been 2 years of me kind of getting my thoughts out there and telling my story and shit. But I want to hear everybody else's story. I want to hear you guys' stories because I find that shit more interesting than whatever the hell I got to say about anything. So yeah, if you're interested in coming on, if you want to come on, if you have an idea for a show or a topic or anything, let me know and we'll get you on. Like so I definitely want to do more of that in 2025 as well. Um but yeah, so that's what's coming up the rest of the year. That's what the month has in store. I might do it, like I said, I might do another stream like next weekend, something kind of similar to this. We'll go in, we'll talk about the Romero trivia night and kind of what the rules are. I kind of have a basic outline. I have a concept of an idea of what I want to do with the trivia night. And I have some different things for the prizes for for the winners of the contest. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna iron out all those details, and I'll come back. We'll probably, like I said, do another stream next weekend or something like that, and we'll kind of go over everything and kind of go over the rules and how everything's gonna work. So it should be a lot of fun. It's something I've been wanting to do. I used to do the Trivia Tuesday stuff on the community page here on the channel, where I do like a Romero trivia every Tuesday, and I kind of got out of the habit of that, and I was just kind of like, oh man, it's like every Tuesday would come up and I'm like, fuck, I got to think of some bit of trivia or something to put out there, and it was just like, I'll just save it for a trivia show someday. And Larry's been helping me with part of it. So I'm really excited about that aspect because it's pretty fucking cool. What I have in store for one aspect of the contest. Um, but yeah, what are you guys thinking? What are you guys wanting more out of me in 2025? And what do you guys think about the rest of the 2024? You guys ready to play some trivia? Flex your muscle. Who knows George and his work the best? And you guys want to come on the round table? You're more than welcome to. Um, okay, so Madman was 82, says Grande. Released first day of that year. Paul Ehlers was telling me about it, telling me it got a New Year's Day release. That's interesting. Okay. So 82 was Madman. So that was the same year Creepshow came out. So Galen Ross was busy that year. Rick says, "Hey, are you going to have a New Year's Eve special broadcast?" I wasn't planning on it. New Year's Eve, I'm probably going to spend, if we can keep Everly up that late. But I mean, I'll probably spend it with the family or something like that. I don't really do anything for New Year's Eve. I haven't for years. Like when I was younger, I'd go out and we'd go to Nashville or something like that. But man, the older I get, the more I'm just like, we'll just hang out here, have a cheese tray, and drink some champagne, and then call it a night. One year I went down Broadway in Nashville for New Year's Eve, and Leonard Skinner was playing, and it was a fucking mess. It was a clusterfuck, and that kind of turned me off from ever wanting to go do anything like that again. So, but no, probably not a New Year's Eve special. But you never know. Fuck it. I might get to that day and I might think, I might hop on for an hour or so and wish everyone well into the next year. But we'll see. But she died in August 2023. I thought so. Since those careful llamas are notorious spitters when challenged, they have a good range of names. Some great YouTube videos showing. I think I've seen that before. I think I've seen videos like that before. No worries, Grande. I think I'm so excited to shoot the breeze with you guys. Yeah, I always enjoy hanging out with Grande and talking with Grande, either on his channel, my channel, whatnot. I love the kid. Love the kid. Check him out. Like I said, Grande's Graveyard. He streams every Thursday like clockwork, and he blows me away because this. How old are you, Grande? You're what, mid-20s, if that. Like I've got 10 years on you, and you already surpassed. You have so much knowledge and so many other facets of horror and film and shit. It's fucking impressive, man. You're like a fucking savant. But yeah, definitely check it out. Grande's Graveyard. Like I said, we'll be there on the 19th. Looking forward to it. Larry, new topic. Lane Carroll, hot or not? Interesting. For me, I would lean maybe not. Not really my style, but I could see how somebody could, be into Lane Carroll. I could see that. but not really my thing. No, I'm more of if I'm going for anybody in the crazies, and if you know me, you know this. If I'm going for anybody in the crazies, it's Lynn Lowry. Like I'll drop kick Lane Carroll out of the way to get the Lynn Lowry. Um, and some people think I'm crazy about that, but no, Lynn Lowry's got that Sissy Spacek, Audrey Hepburn look. That's just like, oh, yeah, especially at that time, the fucking early '70s. Forget about it. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying it's an easy knot, but not for me. Not for me. Alex, I gotta go. So grateful to be participating in your podcast once again. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, man. Always good to see you in here. Um, Always got a lot of knowledge, a lot to share with folks. So I appreciate it. I always learn. So I fucking always learn something when you're in here, Alex. So I always appreciate it when you're here, brother. And Alex was like the first guy. Like when I first joined some of like the Facebook pages, like the Dawn page, like the Living Dead Weekend page and stuff like on Facebook. Like Alex was one of the first guys to ever message me and kind of talk Romero with me because I posted that when I got that Fluid 45. When I got that off of, I forgot where I fucking got it, but I posted something about it on one of those pages, and Alex messaged me, and we talked about Fluid and some of the other stuff like that. So yeah, I've always appreciated that, man. I appreciate you hanging out, brother. Grinding Romero trivia night. I'm gonna Randy Orton punt kick someone to win. Well, like I said, it's just trivia, so we don't have to get physical or anything. But yeah, if you do what you got to do, do what you got to do. Win the Flesh Eater Steelbook. There, hell yeah, there you go. Rick says would love to do a roundtable. Hell yeah, man. Shoot me an email, and I will send you the link when we do it. I'll just send it, and if you join, you join. But yeah, you're definitely welcome, my man. Where are we at? Grant says, congrats on 2 years, Alpha. A few shows on YouTube as professional and mellow as your show. I appreciate that, man. Love working with you, and I always like the topic variety, guests, and chats. Well, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's crazy. I've been doing this for 2 years. I didn't even mean to start doing this. I just wanted to start posting some Romero-related shit on here, and then I did a video on which Larry commented on it the other day, and I went back and watched it. I was like, God damn, I look fucking awkward and weird. The first thing I posted when I got that behind the scenes photo from There's Always Vanilla, and just kind of examining that and just kind of seeing like, oh, what is this? What could this be from? Blah, blah, blah. I just did that, and I was just like, well, I'll try a live stream now. And I did a live stream watch along of There's Always Vanilla, and got fucking wine drunk watching There's Always Vanilla. And I was like, this is kind of fun. I could do this. And so yeah, 2 years in, it's been a lot of fun. Appreciate it, Rick. 2-year anniversary. Yeah, I think the first thing I did was early 2023. So yeah, we're getting there. Since I basically stole the travel documenting idea from Adam the Woo and put my own spin on it. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I mean, people do it all the time, but I'm sorry. Like, nobody fucking, like, you're just like raw documentarian, like raw footage. Like, Living Dead Weekend, everything you did Living Dead Weekend is pretty much available on your YouTube channel. Check it out, guys. If you ever wanted to check out like what Living Dead Weekend looks like and experience, I mean, he's got the whole, he has Larry's entire fucking tour on his channel. So check it out. Check out Synthetic's channel. He's got all kinds of great stuff on there. And I'm glad that you do it because I'm really bad about it. I take so few photos and videos and shit. I've always been really, really bad about that. So I love the fact that it's available, that I know I can go and relive, the weekend or just look at things just to fucking check it out. If I miss something or if I want to go back and be like, oh, was so and so there? Let me go check Synth's videos to see if I can see him, But yeah, I'm like I said, I'm glad you do that and you're so prolific at that because I'm fucking terrible. Granny says, if you're taking show recommendations, I'd kill to see you rank Dark Side Season on here, but that's me being selfish. Please don't feel obligated, just throwing it out there. Okay, well, I will make a deal with you. I have to finish the first. What do I got here? I think I finished the first season, but I will go back. I'll pick up Tales from the Dark Side again, and I will do a rank. I will rank them. But I want you to come on and help me and do it with me. So if you do the show with me, I'll definitely we'll definitely do some Tales from the Dark Side rankings for sure. Because like I said, I like the show. Like I like a lot of the episodes. There were a couple episodes that were just like meh, but it just got to a point where it's just like I don't want like like making content quote unquote out of watching Tales from the Dark Side was just kind of getting a little tedious and kind of like ugh, I don't want to do this. So if I can just watch the shit and then just do like a ranking stream or something, we just talk about the episodes. Like I'm all down for that. And there's nobody better to talk about Tales from the Dark Side TV series with than Grande, for sure. So yeah, that's the deal, man. If you'll do the show with me, I'll do it. I'll do it. Since it's fun to mix it up, that's why I do long form digital pub group discussions, music tech demos, live music, and other stuff. Hell yeah. Um, yeah, you know that's what BP stands for. Uh, it's Baltimore Pittsburgh, right? Or Baltimore Philadelphia. I can't fuck. What is it? It's Baltimore Pittsburgh, right? We figured that out, and I've already fucking forgot. Uh, Grant says, "You're the fucking man. Thank you for the kind words." I'm 27, 28th is coming up. So 27. So yeah, I got 10 years on you, my man. You're 10 years younger than I am. And I learn new shit from you every time I watch you. Um, so yeah, dude knows his shit. If you're not subscribed to Grande's channel, you're missing out, guys. That's for fucking sure. Um, since this New Year's Eve special, instead of dropping the ball, you can drop an animatronic zombie head. I don't have one of those. I just have the old Bub mask back here with my 3D shades that I got from the 3D screening of Dawn. He keeps those on. Carnage says Lynn Lowry's own dad went for her in that movie. Talk about crazy. Yeah, that's the thing. Like the crazy's got some fucked up shit in it. Like on the surface, like George was always really good about doing things like that tastefully, so you don't come away from it feeling like you were just watching smut. But when you break it down, you look at a lot of the stuff that was in the crazy. It's like, yeah, it's kind of fucked up. Like, yeah, but I mean, lucky Richard Liberty. That's all I'll say. Richard Liberty was a lucky man in that movie. Um, Lynn was great in Shivers. Yeah, Shivers is one of my favorite Cronenberg films for sure. Like, and that Shivers to me always felt kind of like a Romero film. Like, kind of has that look and that vibe, like the isolation in the big apartment building, and so that Shivers to like Shivers and Rabid are probably the two Cronenberg films that feel the most like Romero to me, especially like 70s Romero. But yeah, I love Shivers. That's a big favorite of mine. So, hey, there's Dirk. There's a man. So we were talking about you earlier, my man. Subjective Perspective Collective. What's going on, man? I'm wide awake and I'm about to put you. Oh, shut up. We were discussing that earlier, Dirk. We were bringing that up earlier. Um, but hey, if it helps, man, if it helps, like I said, I have fallen asleep to Dawn many a times. Not because it's boring, but because it's just that it's like it's like what Will said. It's a big blanket. It's just comfort, man. It just puts you to sleep. Uh, but yeah, get the hell out of here with that, Dirk. Good to see you, my man. Okay, all right. Grady says it's a deal. All right, we're gonna do it. I'll plan it out. I'll finish. I guess season one. We'll do season one first. I'll see how much I have. Which if I have any of season one left, I don't have very much. Um, but yeah, we'll definitely do that, my man. Um, since then, big congrats on the 2 years. I've been doing my music channel for over 2 years, and my microbiology live stream for over 2 years as well. Yeah, since got you got what, Astro Addict, Micro Addict. You got a lot of different channels because the thing about synth, and I'll say like I tell this people to anybody that I'm like, synth is like a fucking encyclopedia of knowledge about multiple things. Like the dude's just a really smart fucking guy. Which I thought like I know you hate Elon Musk, and I've always felt this way. I've always felt like smart people are always like anti other smart people. So I always feel like I think that's why. I think you're kind of not not I'm not trying to boost your ego too much there and being like, oh, you're on the same level as Elon Musk or anything, but I think you know your shit, and I always find that fascinating. It's like the what's that lyric? I can't think what the lyric is now, but there's a song talking about that smart people trying to outsmart each other. Anyway, yeah, I appreciate it, my man. Um, all right. Well, I wish we're about caught up. Like I said, 2025, I definitely want to do some more, do big things, big plans on the horizon. I want to get more of you guys involved. Want to get more people brought in, some more interviews, quote unquote, if that's what you want to call them. I just want to hang out with people, talk to people, find out more about different people. Um, maybe come up with some different concepts for shows. I'm going to be doing the Tales from the Dark Side rankings with Grande. Um, but yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you got any ideas for shows. Like if you want to come on, if you have an idea for a show, let me know. We'll set it up. Um, but yeah, I appreciate it. Like I said, the rest of December is going to be fun. Got the roundtable on Grande's Graveyard. December 19th, with me, Grande, Uncle Bill, and Matt Landrum. 21st, Romero Trivia Contest. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. Just from what I got planned and some of the way that the game's going to be played, I think it's going to be a lot of fun for you guys. And then on the 28th, the second Romero fan roundtable. If you're interested in joining, coming on, hanging out, and chopping it up about Romero for a couple hours, shoot me an email or a comment down below, and let me know. Or like I said, if we're friends on Facebook or wherever, shoot me a message on there. Just let me know. Everybody, any and all, are welcome to join the roundtables. So appreciate everybody in the chat. It's been fun. Hope you guys had some fun on a Monday night. I appreciate everybody hanging out. It's been a pretty lively chat. I didn't know what a Monday. It's been a while since I've done a stream on a Monday, but it was good seeing everybody. Synth with the shameless plug here. Micro Addict and Astro Addict 6313. There you go. So check it out. Subscribe to all because you'll learn some shit from Synth, that's for sure. Thank you, Bonnie. Bonnie says, thank you. Everyone have a good night and a great week. Absolutely. Synth, thanks for another cool one. Bye, all. Appreciate you hanging out as always, my man. And like I said, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, if you're watching this for the first time. Notifications bell. I promise I won't blow your phone up with notifications. But yeah, spread the word. Shop.alpharomero.store. Check out some of the designs and stuff on there. I haven't added anything on there for a while, but I have some ideas. I've just been too lazy. I just got to get back to work. Got to get back to work on it. So yeah, check that out. Shop.alpharomero.store. And but yeah, other than that, Larry, appreciate you as always, my man. Thank you for stopping in. Dirk, Uncle Bill, Grande, Rick the North Going Llama, Sonic Owl, Robert as always, Holy Parish of Doom making his triumphant return, Matt Landrum, of course, any and all, everybody that was in the chat. I appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. You guys make this fun for me, so I hope I make it fun for you. That's all I'll say. But I appreciate it. You guys have a great rest of the night, a great rest of the week, and as always, stay scared.